Hi, hi. I bet you've missed me, but don't worry guys, I've missed you too. Also, as always, multi-chat is not working, half the stream is scuffed, and I will try my best to fix it in real time, but I'm also late, so it's, it's a good start. It's a good first stream back after so many weeks being gone, and there's so much to talk about, so much to cover, so many things to go over. There is just, fuck me, you know? I've been sort of trying to keep my finger on the pulse when I was gone, but I was obviously enjoying my life, so there's a lot that I've missed out on, and there's just so much to talk about, so much to go over. How are all of you doing? I have not been paying that much attention to what's been happening over the last couple of weeks, so I don't know if there's been like a massive fucking drama that I might have missed. I know that the tariff shit is going on. Elon Musk is getting bullied in Path of Exile, he's getting bullied by Tim Walz, he's getting bullied by the European Union. I think Navarro is now bullying him too. Miskiv is getting cancelled again. Destiny wants J-Stock and Queeman dead. So much happening in Polish politics too. There's just so much content. So many things to catch up on. Who do we have in chat already? Shepan has been waiting. We've got Ampar, Ruby, Lua, and we've got 2-Bit Dork in YouTube chat as well, and Ray. Hey, how are you all doing? Welcome, welcome. J-Stock drama goes crazy. I have no idea about anything that's been happening in terms of like J-Stock's side of things. I just know that there are new court documents from Destiny being sued by Pixie. I've had a look at some of them. I might even talk about them, though probably not today. I just saw a clip of Destiny saying that he hopes or he wants J-Stock and Queeman dead. It was one or the other. It was, yeah. There's just a lot going on. Hey Unix, hi, how are you doing? Do we want to start off with the tariffs? Do we want to start off with a little bit of holiday updates, with life updates, content updates? I feel like we might wait a little bit with content updates and just, holiday talk until a few more regulars get in here, because I know that a lot of people are curious, and I do have quite a few big things to talk to you about, so that might be fun. My life related, not content related, obviously. But yeah, I have missed streaming. I have missed talking to you guys. I have basically spent the last 3 weeks just with my partner, and like, she's a woman and stuff. So you know how that goes, right? I need to talk to the boys, Which, I mean, they'll probably tune in at some point. But yeah, hey, I hope you are all doing great. I do apologize for being late today. I got roped into doing something which needed to be done either way, so I didn't volunteer for it, but I did it because it was necessary. Let's see if we can put someone in a chat on the spot. I'll wait for a little bit later till I start bullying you guys. Hey Femboy, how are you doing? I am indeed back. And hey Quill, how are you? Do we want to do brain rot first? I'll wait until Friday with like a proper brain rot stream and everything, For today we might as well take it easy since I had to start so late. I don't know where to start. I don't know why Caster Labs ain't working, so I can't read multi-chat properly. You will have to forgive me if I miss out on some messages, although I should be fine. It should be manageable. I do feel all over the place, but I've also missed streaming quite a lot. Did anything important happen when I was gone, chat? Is there anything I might have missed out or I might not be aware of that I should probably at least sort of talk about? Because in terms of the tariff shit, we've got a few videos to watch. We'll probably start watching them soon. Hey Merrick, thank you for the one biddy. But I think the gist of things... I was reading Lua talk in my Discord earlier, and Lua was saying that I think the word might have been uniquely qualified to give a take on tariffs because it's sort of to do with my education and my employment. But I'm gonna be real with you. There is not really that big of a take that I can give you that you haven't already seen everywhere else, because Trump is a fucking moron. These tariffs are not a good idea. Nothing that he's doing to the economy is a good idea. And whether you're a competent person or not so much, as long as your take is this is bad, you're right on the money. Hey, D616616 saying WSP in chat. Hello, hello. News reporter getting added to the fucking Signal group. Yeah.
Getting added to the fucking Signal group chat where us politicians were talking about war plans.
It's to do with the Yemen shit, right? I think I spoke to my partner about that. Bro, there is so much. I don't know what the fuck is happening with this administration. I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? I feel like I understand the desire to drain the swamp and get rid of career politicians, but at some point you've got to realize that if you go too hard in the direction of getting rid of career politicians, you're sort of left with incompetent people to choose from. Trump deporting a fuck ton of people. Yeah, although that one we'll probably talk about at length on Friday, because I don't think we will have the time needed to give that story the justice it deserves. And between people being deported who have fuck all to do with being illegal, or any of the gang shit, or anything at all, you also just have the treatment being sort of unacceptable, even if you are an illegal immigrant. There's just so much to talk about and so many things to analyze carefully that it takes time. It's over for Hollywood because of the China tariffs. That is interesting. So to catch you guys up on what happened in the last 15 minutes, right? Because I think this is quite literally breaking news. It started happening when I went live or a little bit before that. So Trump announced the 104% tariff on China, I believe. And then shortly thereafter, he announced a 90-day pause on the, I think it's the reciprocal tariffs, so it's just the new ones. I think the old ones are staying in place. We'll read the article in just a moment. And I believe that the stock market is surging like a motherfucker. Oh, yeah, you can see Dow up, Dow on 39,900, up by 6%. Yeah, obviously, it's sort of interesting because the moment he announced a pause on the tariffs, the stock market shot up. So you'd think there might be a correlation between one and the other, but I don't know. Apparently you don't need to think about these things. You can just get ChatGPT to give you an idea based on a fucking trading deficit and then just start giving tariffs to islands that have no one but penguins living on them. I don't get how that works, chat. What did the penguins do? What did the penguins do? Fox News removed the layout of stock market because it was already and they didn't do that for hundreds of years, have they? I mean, hundreds is a bit of an exaggeration, but you get the point. Oh, sorry, the bot is not on yet. Let me turn it on real quick. And there are so many things that I need to add to the soundboard. There are so many... Bro, did you guys see Elon Musk getting the shit bullied out of him in Path of Exile last night or the night before that? Little Cuz went live to stream some Path of Exile, and like he's so genuinely bad at the game that even looking past the fact that he kept dying to like a boss that you bump into very early on in the game, he also didn't know that he can turn the chat off so you don't see the messages. He was ignoring people sending him nasty messages one by one, and then he realized that doesn't work because people just kept bullying him, and he pretended his internet connection dropped out and just ended the stream. My boy is so fragile that he'd rather be like, yo, no, my Starlink fucked up here, I can't do shit, rather than just be like, yeah, look, someone Chris, help me and tell me how to turn this fucking chat off. Those chatters will be executed. Bro, he looked like he's gonna cry. There was the one, hold on, I'll see, I've got it saved somewhere because there are so many things that I want to make videos about now that I'm back, and I feel so fucking refreshed as well. I spent 2 weeks in one of the places that I've always wanted to go to. It was on my bucket list for a while. I don't know if I want to tell you guys or if I want you to start guessing. I need to figure out how I want to play this because I think we were going to bet on it, right? Just to see who can win some channel points. But Elon was playing Path of Exile and someone kept spamming in his chat that he has no real friends, nobody likes him and he's going to die alone. And Elon looked like he's going to fucking cry. It's not... Look, obviously, bullying's not cool, right? But like, come on, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, Diz, how you doing, baby?
I can't talk right now. I'm making piss.
Thank you for the hydration redeem, Next. I just took a sip a moment ago, so I'm going to hold off on that one. But actually, fuck it. Might as well. It's Monster Energy doing it. I'm assuming I don't get to guess. I mean, you know where I went, so no, you don't get to guess.
It's cool if you do it right and to the right people.
There is something to that, but yeah, it's funny that he kept getting bullied. Hey, Boris, how you doing? The child support comment is so funny. Wasn't Elon listening to Grimes' songs as he was...
just a reciprocal tariff from all the federal employees he fired. Lol.
First of all, based, but also... Did you guys, speaking of Elon and tariffs, did you guys see him a couple of nights ago? He was talking about how in his ideal world, Europe and USA wouldn't be tariffing one another and there would be like free trade and shit. And I'm just saying like, bro, you're the co-president. If you don't want us to be tariffed, just like tell Donny that the next time he's under the desk. How difficult can that be in your position to accomplish, little bro? Gramps has exactly one good song, listening to Gramps a red flag. Do you know I don't even know what kind of song she's got? I don't think I've ever listened to a single one. Bro gave up on the tariffs after days. Well, he's pausing them for now. It's a 90-day pause, but it's just the whole thing is ridiculous. Do you know what we need? But we can't have that anymore. There was this dude in Trump's first term. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys knows his name. I can never remember his name. But when Trump was the president for the first time around, he had a lot of reasonably competent people around him that sort of blocked him from doing the crazy shit. And there was one dude in his cabinet who Trump was about to sign some document that would have fucked up the American trade with South Korea completely. And the mad lad in his cabinet walked into his office when Trump weren't paying attention, and he fucking stole the document from his desk and dipped with it. And by the time Trump came back, he didn't remember what he was going to sign, so he just moved on as though nothing happened. And he never stopped the trade with South Korea that he was meant to. And I can never remember the name of the dude in his cabinet who stole that fucking document from him. We need more of that, though, and we're not going to get it because it's a bit grim. But yeah, I can never remember the dude's name, and he's so fucking, the whole story is just amazing. Can you imagine that, like, you work in some fucking president's cabinet, and you realize that he's about to make a fuck up so bad that he just steals the document he's trying to sign. Oh, what a time to be alive. But yeah, tariffs are paused currently. Stock market is up, I believe. I think it's... I don't like CNBC. I'm just going to assume it's up. I don't like CNBC because it just it jumps me all over the fucking page, and I always fear that it's going to dox me any moment. Gary Cohn, is that... Wait, it is Gary, isn't it? Yeah, Gary, what a mad lad. And he's bald as well, so you know he knows. Although to be fair, for him it's probably an age thing. Which still fair enough, you know, I ain't judging. He picked on Liechtenstein, and that's like 40%, 40,000 people. Didn't he, what was it? Was it... Shit. Was it Vietnam that proposed they just get rid of tariffs entirely and they have free trade with the US? And Trump was like, no, not good enough. I mean, I know what he wants. He's fucking angry with China right now, probably, because every step back, this absolute orange troglodytean fucktuck, China decided to take a step forward, which now China's looking very attractive to the European Union because America's unstable as shit, which is really sad, because a couple of months ago I went on a panel to defend the American hegemony, and I was deep-throating you guys like a motherfucker, and that was not a good idea. I mean, in fairness, I'll still take it over everything else, it's just, you know, didn't think the orange dude's gonna win again. Madagascar too. Yeah, I mean, he tariffed a fucking penguin island, bro. What am I supposed to think about that? He put tariffs on Poland as well. He put tariffs on Ukraine, and he didn't put any extra ones on Russia, with the logic being that Russia's already sanctioned. But then he said that he's also not going to punish them any further because he's seeking peace talks. But then he did punish Ukraine. Like, it's not possible to understand his motivations anymore. I don't think he has motivations. I think he's just fucking insane. Trust a plan or something? I don't know. Yeah, true. Hey, Cooper, how you doing? I'm trying to think of if I wanted to give you like a little bit of a hint where I went on holidays. What could I do that's not just going to spoil it so you can't have your fun guessing anymore? I should have thought of this earlier. Warm country. Dry, I would say, based on climate. As far as the weather itself goes, it was mostly the same as it is everywhere else. When I say everywhere else, I mean like our side of the world, so to speak. All-inclusive hotel? No. Airbnb, and we're doing everything on our own. No chat on screen. Yeah, unfortunately, for some reason, Castelabs is... Yeah. Castelabs is fucked. It's just not turning on, mate.
Joel.
Tell us the continent. I feel like this is going to make it too easy, though. Actually... I will say it was in Asia, okay? It was in Asia, there you go. What's up, Stepan? How are you doing, baby? How is life? How is everything? Macedonia, Turkey, Bulgaria. I feel like I should start timing people out for these kinds of guesses. And also, Stepan, thank you very much for the biddies, of course. We're already on 200. Japan, and not quite. Okay. You're just getting further away, okay? Further away with each guess. It's disappointing is what it is. Japan is wet as fuck. It's not Japan. There we go. Russia. No, that would be a bad idea right now. Thailand for the hair transplant. I would go, if I went somewhere for a hair transplant, I don't think I'd go to Thailand. But I've heard bad things about Turkey recently too. I don't know if there is a good place for that anymore. Because like, if you want to get a plastic surgery, you go to South Korea and you're fucking golden. But like, where do you go to get your hair transplanted thingy? Malaysia? Still no. Jesus, you lot are bad at guessing. Where the fuck would you transplant your hair from? The bits on my head where it still grows. I've got a receding hairline. I'm not like... I haven't gone full like fucking egg. Isn't Turkey the hair transplant country? It used to be is what I'm saying. Yeah, it used to be the go-to place. If you wanted a hair transplant, you'd go to Turkey. But every single news related to that I've been hearing recently is all bad. Chris, not the kind of guy to visit China. I mean, bro... Trump keeps doing what he's doing, okay? And I'ma boot up Duolingo again and I'ma learn fucking Mandarin. Because for every step back that he takes, China takes a step forward, and China currently, and at least for the next 20 years, I imagine, is gonna be pretty solid in terms of, like, the dude who's in charge right now is gonna keep being in charge. But also, I would, unironically, visit China at some point in the future. Maybe at a calmer time. China deployed troops in Ukraine outside of Russia. Yeah, North Korea did too, as far as I know. Although China did so unofficially, I think. I think Zelensky was given a press release the other day, and I think he was saying that they've gotten, like, they've captured Chinese citizens, like legit Chinese citizens with their passport and shit. Hey, Merit, how you doing? Pube transplant. I don't think that's a thing, Ray. I don't think people want to get their pubes transplanted. I mean, I could be wrong, to be fair. I don't think it's a thing. It doesn't strike me as real. Hey, no, that's alright, Stepan. You can chill in here for a little bit and then, you know, live life to the fullest. And by that I mean responsibly go to bed early enough so that you're not completely fucked tomorrow. Ooh, I need to, if I want to boot up a game right now, I need to bring the... Sheesh. Okay, I was playing Wuthering Waves off stream, and I've sort of not put all of the settings on minimum, and now I think everything's lagging. Let me just fix that real quick before I put it on screen. Start the content. Hey, look, we're talking about holidays and shit. Ain't that the content? When is the first Berserker Kazan stream? I don't think I can run that game on stream. But yeah, we can watch a video. Do we want to... I feel like we might as well start with the tariffs, right? To be fair, it is a little bit... Actually, no, I've got a better thing to start off with than the tariffs. We'll talk about the tariffs soon, because to be fair, they're pausing them now, so I don't know how worthwhile of a topic that's going to be. You know, I used to watch a lot of Destiny, right? A ton of Destiny. Almost all of his videos, with a few exceptions. But obviously, the whole, you know, him being a sex offender sort of left a bad taste in my mouth. Kind of unpleasant to watch him after that. It's one of those things where it's difficult to square it with me wanting to consume more Destiny content. And so, I found a better Destiny, okay? A different Destiny. I found a YouTube channel called Destiny, and he just talks about cool shit that happened on Earth way back when, okay? There's a video about like when fucking worms and shit were ruling the Earth. There's a video about prehistoric monsters, okay? Hopefully this dude is not a sex offender. So I feel like this is going to be the go-to Destiny from today on. I watch so much stuff to collect the tariff content. To be fair, Lua, you've had absolutely no way to tell what he's going to do, and I don't think any of us expected him to just pause all of the tariffs right now. AI thumbnails, not cool. Are they AI? Maybe. I can't tell, to be quite honest with you. There's fucking Rev brain rot as well. There's just a lot of brain rot. There's so much happening in Polish politics as well, and I am going to go back to making YouTube videos as of this weekend. I wanted to do something tomorrow, but I'll be busy tomorrow, unfortunately. First week back after holidays means catching up on everything, you know, because being an adult and whatnot. But this weekend we're back on there. Watch a Pisco video. We could talk about the Miskiff situation as well, because the Miskiff situation is just like easy brain-dead content that I can give a really easy take on that somehow a lot of people are not given, which is fucking weird, but also it's not really even that surprising anymore, is it? But also Pisco has been debating recently, yeah. Pisco has had a really good debate. That's kind of what it is, D. Yeah. I don't know if any of you guys are aware, but like Miskiff is getting a little bit cancelled again because Miskiff is in Japan, right? Fuck me, there's just... Miskiff went to Japan. He is in Japan currently. He does aero streaming in Japan, and he's been hanging out with his friends, and he decided to do pull-ups on a cherry blossom tree. Which is a no-no because cherry blossom trees are sacred in Japan. The Timple debate was good. The Timple debate was very good.
Manson running away from his meetings with people. I love that clip.
Dude, there is... We're going to talk about Manson a lot in the near future, because the fact that he had to go on a morning show to prove to everyone that he can scramble eggs, he can make scrambled eggs, and he had 2 people help him accomplish that task, is just... It's beyond me. I don't understand how the fuck that dude is a serious contender for the presidency. So I just got out of work and I haven't heard tariffs actually paused. For everyone but China, it seems like it. Yeah, Trump's putting an official 90-day pause on it. Which makes me wonder, you know that dude the other day who said that there's going to be a 90-day pause, and then it turns out there wasn't, and there was like 3 trillion pumped back into the market only for it to fall again because that dude was lying. I wonder if he maybe knew. I don't know. I truly do not know. This debate was good. Is that a Pisco one? Oh, with fucking Rob Knorr. Oh god, Rob Knorr. On my first stream back, are we going to listen to Rob Knorr? Okay, do you know what? As background noise when I do dailies in Wuthering Waves, I might as well just get a decent injection of politics, but Rob fucking Knorr is going to be painful to listen to. Pain. A Polish deputy minister was on NPR the other day. Isn't this just a rebranded Discovery Channel? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I unsubbed after the shit came out about him. Yeah, Merit, it's the whole thing is just... The thing that gets to me is that this is not the first time that happened either. His other debates are more painful, to be honest, LMAO. It's not about the pain degree of the debate itself. It's about subjecting Polish people in my chat who have had the joy of living their life without knowing who Rob Knorr is to Rob Knorr, you know? It's one of those things where I kind of just want to apologize in advance. On-screen chat is not working. Yeah, I know. It's for some reason a lot isn't working currently, but you know what? We're just gonna have a chill evening stream. We're gonna watch a little bit of Rob Knorr debating Pisco. Then I'm gonna talk to you about my life, and then on Friday we're gonna do a proper stream and shit. How does that sound, chat?
You agree, at a bare minimum, alleged alien enemies under a presidential proclamation should have the right to contest whether they are in fact alien enemies under the proclamation.
Listen, I'm hardcore. Get shitty people out of the country.
I know you are.
I think we should get illegals out of the country. But there's still levels to this shit. And I'm unpersuaded, well, they're illegals anyway, so f them. That's not the standard that I have. The standard I have would be they're still human beings, and if you're accusing them of being terrorists and basically throwing them in a black hole in El Salvador, they should at least have the right to defend themselves from these accusations that they're terrorists.
Hey, folks.
Okay, that's a good take. Rob taking the W on that one. It so happens, you know, broken clock, twice a day type of shit.
Big news. On the 28th of March, I'll be doing Tim Pool's Culture War Show. We'll be discussing Mahmoud Khalil and other constitutional issues with the Trump administration. I highly encourage you to watch it. It'll be running from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Tim's channel. And if you haven't liked, commented, and subscribed on this channel, please do so. It'll really help me out. Boom. I think we're good to go. How you doing, dude?
Good, not bad. I can't complain. I've been working a lot, but I'm having a good week. So.
Oh, that's good to hear. I heard that, is it your son's birthday? You know, I'm a Rob fan. You know that, right?
No,
2025
no, it's not my son's birthday. It was today
politics.
How does this shit work? 3 streams in a row. I'm going to be drunk watching stream.
It's probably a combination of the fact that I stream in the evening and you being an alcoholic. It's gonna be a mix of those two things. Obviously, you know, me streaming in the evening lends itself to you taking it easy, cracking a cold one, you know, having a good time. And then it's the fact that, you know, you use that as a coping mechanism to deal with your daily struggles. Obviously, also an important component. But don't worry, Stepan, I'll fix you. Hey, Kaikod, how you doing?
Is the first open house for preschool that he's going to. So he's going to a Catholic preschool.
Oh, you're kidding.
And yeah, so he's an only child, and all of the friends he has that are kids are older. So this is really, we're worried about school because he doesn't really interact with many kids that are his age, but he loved the preschool and he was hanging out with the kids. So he doesn't go until the end of August, but this was the first sort of open house.
Okay, come on.
I need to probably watch.
Start yelling at each other, come on.
It's not Steve Carell.
Well, yeah, but like, isn't the whole thing of the movie that like the anti-villain league's basically like, you know, up there?
And
I feel Yamanax, but don't worry. I went live late tonight, so I sort of understand that's going to be the case for a lot of people. It's we will do a proper stream on Friday. Later, I'll talk about myself for a little bit, and then we'll wrap up. It's okay, you know. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm back in the world of living, and that the content mines are open once again. You're just watching Pisco. Currently, we're going to watch at least a bit of his debate with Rob. I know, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of all over the place, because I got roped into doing something, and obviously the entire plan for the stream kind of went in the shitter.
Global homo politics.
It's not a addiction, it's a hobby. Crisp2 Gigacat, Crisp2 Gigacat, Crisp2 Coolin.
I don't like how he said that last word, okay? I'm not a fan. But yeah, we're going to watch a part of that, and then we'll probably talk about a little bit of other brain rot. And probably Elon Musk being bullied too, because there is a lot of that happening right now. I am glad that at least the tariffs are paused.
We shouldn't do this, and we always do because we start
I
praising.
appreciate
and then,
that, Kai.
shit gets off the rails. But I want to start by praising and saying a couple of things. One, the consistency on what I perceive as consistency on the recent revelations of the signal leaks. That's one where I think we have some agreement. Another one is the Mahmoud Khalil situation, and I think the Alien Enemies Act situation. I'm curious about some of your opinions there. And but
wait,
in general,
shit, if this is going to be, hold on, I know I'm all over the place, I do apologize. If this is going to be the immigration stuff, I might leave this for Friday though, Lua, because like I said, if they're going to talk about, there's a lot about this immigration stuff that I kind of want to get into before we watch a debate on it, because there are so many fucking horror stories with ICE that are happening right now. I don't know if you guys are, I don't know how closely you follow all of this shit, but obviously it's not a great time to be brown in America right now. I know we meme around how it's never a great time and all of that shit, institutional racism, all of those conversations. It's a particularly not a good time right now for that shit. The deportation stuff is fucking wild. Just to give you a gist of things, basically, is Trump's administration is essentially arguing that you don't get due process if you're an illegal immigrant. So they're grabbing people and basically deporting them, but some of the people aren't illegal immigrants, but they don't get to debate that they're not illegal immigrants because the argument is that you don't get due process, so you obviously don't get brought in front of a judge and shit, but they're not illegal, but they don't get to say that they're not illegal because there is no due process, you know what I mean? The whole thing is a fucking mess. There's like a... Yeah, we'll talk about this on Friday, because there is a lot. There truly just is a lot. Tattoo equals a gang member. Yeah, there is fucking JD Vance was just... It's bad. It's not going great in America. Queeman covered the Elon Power of Exile stream, and that was brutal. Yeah, I'll probably cover that in a little bit more detail. I might have it somewhere in here, actually. Hold on. I'll show you how bad it was for Elon Musk on the Twitter shit.
$800K per person to deport 80 people just for them to come back to us, Crisp2 Gigakad.
Yeah, it's just, I understand the desire to get rid of illegal immigrants. Like, I might not agree with it, but I understand the mindset, right? You have to come in legally. If you come in illegally, then we boot you out. I get the thinking that goes behind it. The lack of due process shit is fucking grim. Hey, Saku. How's it going, Guna? Better and better on a day. Oh, yeah, there we go. Hold on. This might be a good way to segue into because I'm gonna slightly move us away from the immigration stuff because, like I said, I want to be able to cover that properly. We're gonna read these chat messages together because fuck me sideways. How you doing, Saku? By the way, how was life? How was everything? Also, you guys still haven't guessed where I went on holidays. Okay, at this point, I'm sort of inclined to just tell you. Obviously, right-wing cope, biases, whatnot, but. Fuck me. These are bad messages. So, Elon Musk, in his jet, went live, starts playing Path of Exile, and he has been getting a lot of troll messages as he was doing it, as he went live. There are quite a few messages in here that are of the hostile variety. Obviously, bullying him is sort of... I mean, I don't want to say justified, but I sort of think that they are. You know what I mean? Just all of this shit that is to do with all of the fucking the government cuts that he's been doing, people losing their jobs, people losing 401ks, to some extent the stock market, right? Because he got the orange buffoon elected. It just sort of makes sense that people are rather unhappy with it. And then you add to the fact that he is the richest man in the world and he's too fucking stupid to turn the chat off. And you're left in this situation where a lot of people are going to bully him. If Elon's father wasn't rich, he would have been a lolcow streamer. That is true, though, isn't it? That is true. But yeah, I'm gonna see if they let us read these messages, because the way that they're showing them, they're cut in half. I want to find a better copy. I do have one somewhere. It's just a mess here. Oh no, you got to admit that the new Jaguar looks pretty bad. Oh, you ruined the country just like you ruined all your marriages. Oh yeah, Jesus. Fucking hell. What would you do if you were a Kiwi?
Anyone spamming the chat? We'll get
Oi, what do you mean you're free, Lua? What is that about? What is what's happening in chat with stealing my employees? 16 children, by the way, proud American conservative. Hold on. There's got to be a better copy of these messages for me to read out for you guys. Tajikistan has to be. Think way more mainstream, okay? Think sort of like Japan, but not Japan, okay? That was the closest guess so far, and that is depressing. I never understand why people are so against like mainstream news until I start looking for something specific that I need, and I find mainstream news articles about them, and they're beyond dog shit. Real Korea or good Korea? Didn't go to North Korea either, no. Close though. I'm on strike. Why are you on strike, Lua? We are going to talk about the tariffs. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm sort of excited to be back. And obviously, you know, ADHD pumping up and whatnot. Good Korea, but we said that. Wait, did somebody guess Korea? I do apologize if you have. But yes, South Korea it is. My apologies for not seeing that you did in fact guess where I went. Now, Ampar got it amongst every other Asian country that he's listed. Which the fact that he listed them in... The fact that they come in alphabetical order makes me believe you might have used Google for that one, Amp, okay? And that's a little bit disappointing. All my favorite peoples are here. But yeah. I went to South Korea for 2 weeks and it was absolutely brilliant. It was such a relaxing holiday. We've seen so many things, have gone to so many places, and like a couple of days after we left, South Koreans are firing at North Koreans because they've come too close to the border. It's we went at just the right time. Also, the market value of the Korean won fell through like a motherfucker when we were there, so everything was also cheaper than it would have been otherwise. It was just a perfect storm. Bad for the Koreans, obviously, but good for me being able to save a little bit of money. I spent time putting shit together, yet it's shit on someone's... Look, we're going to watch the shit you've put together. It's good. There's also Rev there, so we're going to get to that. There's legal ego, but like I said, we can't do the immigration stuff today, and for the tariffs, the main gist currently is that there's a pause. Did you visit a Boys Love Manhua cafe? I have not. And hey, Tyson Wine, thank you for the 200 biddies. How are you doing, buddy? I have not, no.
I can't talk right now.
Poland uses euro. I hope my country switches soon. No, we don't. We have our own Polish currency. And Poland's cool because when we went from gold to paper, we figured we're just going to call our paper gold and we're just going to roll with that, you know, and we don't even have to switch the words anymore. Polska Górom. Yeah, we are a few minutes away from the core hour though, aren't we? Super not confused. Look, it is what it is, okay? Poland does things. It's funny though. I said Korea after you said Japan, but not Japan. I'm sorry, Merit. I'm sorry, I did not see. And also Blackburn's yelling at me for having said it too. So maybe it was just me not paying attention. Okay, I should have had my eyes glued to the chat. I feel like I'm gonna have to do 2 first streams back because today I'm just all over the place. How many topics have I jumped through in less than an hour of me being live? We've spoken sort of about 4 different things, haven't we? And I haven't spoken about a single thing I want to talk to you about yet. See what happens when you selfishly go on holidays. There were ulterior motives, okay, behind the holidays. I am not going to lie to you. It was a perfect mix of spontaneity as well as, you know, plans that were being in the works for a while and sort of culminated. But Ethan and that Linux guy suing Noah Samson. Yes, that's also going to be something to talk about. The entire Noah is a cunt. I'm glad that they're suing him. Let's be real. He's a lot of people in these spaces should be sued. Why is this so? Why is the layout here so strange? I'll see if refreshing will be maybe work. And also, hey Cheeto, I don't know if I told you hi or if I didn't, but I saw your message in chat earlier, and I'm glad that you're here, buddy. I have concepts of a plan. True though, true. I do have concepts of a plan. Oh, you don't even know Diz, okay? You don't even know. Because as a matter of fact, I have actually, yes. It's been long in the making, you know. I figured it was time. We've been living together for a bit over 2 years now, sort of getting along splendidly, so I figured, you know, maybe it's the right time. So I went on holidays with my girlfriend.
Stun him with a dragon punch to the back.
Thank you for the dragon punch redeem, Unix. But I went on holidays with a girlfriend and I came back without one. We're still together. It's just, you know, she got promoted to the fiancé position. So that, you know, got me quite excited. I'm glad to say. I will be selling out wedding invitations to whoever donates the most because, you know, I would be nothing if not willing to monetize my private life. Thank you, this. Thank you. Spoiled my revelation a little bit, but I was taking my sweet time getting to it. Thank you, Stepan, and thank you for the 139 beaters.
Crisp 2 party hard, crisp 2 party hard, crisp 2 party hard.
I was thinking you're going to say that you returned with 2. Bro, imagine. I will say...
Global homo
shit, count me in. And thank you for another 139 bits. Do you know what was it's me never leaving the house. That's the core of all the wonders that I have in my head. When we went to Korea, when we were flying over there, obviously I've never been to Asia before. I've never been on holidays that far away before. So I was thinking, you know, what's it going to be like, you know? Because I've never gone. I never went. But you hear things about Asian countries, right? You hear things about Asian people, about how, like, you know, everyone's a vision of beauty. They have all of the technology shit. Everyone's there. I mean, they're depressed given the, you know, how the work and shit is happening. But all in all, it's just like it's a country full of like genetically engineered perfect people, right? And I was incredibly pleasantly surprised. Okay, hold on. Is this going to be a good parkour? Or is this... Oh no, that's a relaxing long play. Fuck me. No, fuck. We're going to go to a Minecraft parkour. That's what I want. Turns out though, for the most part, it's the same as everywhere else. There were balding people. There weren't any bald people that weren't white, I will say, but there were balding people, there were overweight people, there were miserable people, happy people. It was really like everywhere else. And I thought that it's just going to be like, until last week, I've never seen a balding Asian person before.
You were the bald person there.
To be fair though, I can't show you pictures, although maybe if I cropped them I could. But so in South Korea, what they do in order to incentivize people taking part in like the culture and rituals and shit, there are places where you can go and you can rent out these, they call them hanboks. I don't know what a hanbok is in English, but it's basically like the the style of clothing that's like old, like folk clothing, almost like. It's like a kimono. You can think of it as a kimono, but obviously like the Korean equivalent. And when you have that on, you can go around the museums and shit, and you don't have to pay an entrance fee that you would have to pay otherwise. So the idea is you rent out a hanbok for like 4 hours or a full day, depends on what your plans are, and you can go to a bunch of places and you don't have to pay for the entry. So the plan is to rent one out and then go to as many of those places to get your money's worth. And also, you know, it's a cool experience because, I mean, the clothing was incredibly beautiful. Traditional ceremonial cloth. Yeah, basically like that, yes. And so me and my girlfriend, we rented those out. You see, my girlfriend wore this like a white with flowery design folk dress, like a traditional outfit. It was absolutely beautiful. The lady did her hair, and I've never in my life seen someone do like braids that quickly. She looked amazing. But my girlfriend, you know, having hair and everything, doesn't stand out as aggressively as somebody like I do. And I also found a hanbok, which I thought was absolutely fucking brilliant. But judging by the fact that when we went out and I started looking at what kind of, you know, traditional outfit the other dudes around me wear, I didn't find another one like that. It sort of dawned on me that I might have felt a little bit too flamboyant with my choices, because I went for a purple one with a flowery design.
Politics.
Did your hair crisp two wheeze, crisp two wheeze, crisp two wheeze?
Luckily they didn't. There was nothing to do. But I also, so I have my ears pierced, and I wore basically a purple kimono, right, with the flowers on it and shit. Dark purple, to be fair. I thought it looked brilliant. But the amount of people who were staring at me, bro, I feel I'm used to people looking at me in public spaces because, again, piercings, tattoos, the fact that I'm bald, like for me, being bald in my age group usually boils down to chemotherapy or being a Nazi. Like, you don't really see that many people who are in the, well, I mean, I suppose late 20s now, right? I'm 26 now, but like, are completely bald. But so I'm used to people looking at me. But you add to that I was in Asia and I also wore a hanbok that I think was a little bit outside of what people they usually wear. And fucking hell, I felt the glares, you know what I mean? Still though, such a brilliant experience. It was so beautiful there. We went and did it in like a day with a good weather too. So we went around and we've seen and visited so much. And it's just, I don't want to sound cringe, right? But it's just such a fucking magical experience when you share it with someone and you've got like the full traditional clothing on. It's just so fucking cool, you know? It's just like, it's genuinely cool. Because like, we don't have that shit in Poland. At least I don't think we have that anywhere, do we? Like, I don't think we have an entire business model where basically these places that rent out ceremonial clothing have an agreement with the city that if you rent one out, you can go to a bunch of places for free. It's just incredibly cool. Skinhead VTuber, yeah, true though, true. Should get a bold model at some point in the future. But yeah, we went around, we visited so much, we've been to so many different places. Didn't want to tell any of you motherfuckers where I'm going on the off chance that, you know, somebody tries to not even follow me necessarily, but like, fuck me, you might be going to holidays, or they might be going on holidays to the same place. And like I said, I stand out in a crowd. Hey, thank you for the subscription, Dev. 25-month streak. Let's go. But so yeah, so that was just one of the many things that we've done. The place where I actually popped the question is also absolutely beautiful, and it's called the Amnam Park in the southern side of Busan. So we went for 2 weeks. We spent the first 5 days in Seoul. Seoul? I'm actually not sure how to pronounce it in English. Then we spent 4 days in Busan, and then we went back to Seoul for another 3 days. What park? Amnam Park. That's the full name. It's like a sightseeing touristy attraction. We went there in these I don't know what they're called in English. It's like this enclosed capsule that's attached to a rope, and you like go in the air. Do you know what I'm talking about? What's the word I'm missing here? Cable car, yes, thank you. So we went one side in the cable car, and then there were a lot of hiking trails, a lot of places to basically sightsee. And we found this one, well, I say we were exploring around. I was looking for a good place to pop the question, and I finally found this one sort of secluded and incredibly serene spot. There were, is pagoda a word in English? It is, isn't it? Or is that a word in English? Should have googled some terms before I started talking about this shit. Cheeto is pulling the CCTV footage from the park as we speak. Look, if Cheeto wants to know what I look like, all he has to do is ask, okay? Cheeto and I got a special thing going on like that, Chief. But yeah, found this one area there with this little like a wooden sort of balcony, if you will. And on the left-hand side, all you could see was the ocean. Sorry, on the left side, what you could see was the ocean smashing against like these red rocks, because it was like a mountainy area. And behind you or in front of you and to the right, it was nothing but the ocean. And it was just such a pretty place that I figured that's going to be, you know what? If I'm going to pop the question, I want to do it here, because fuck me, this is a beautiful place to do it. You've made your last evasion of Cheeto, Mr. Speaks. Yeah, well, look, if anyone was going to find out what I look like, might as well be Cheeto, you know? But yeah, the whole thing was, you know, not to suck my own dick, but incredibly romantic. And now there's nothing but wedding preparation ahead of us, so I am again very excited. It sort of creeped up on me how real it got when I think within like 72 hours of us being back, my fiance already booked a place for us to go and see. But hey, if I didn't want her doing it, I wouldn't be cheering from behind now, would I? But yeah, a lot to talk about that happened over the last couple of weeks. I will see if maybe cropping some pictures is an option. There are, obviously, I can show you some of the landmarks and shit, because there are going to be a ton of pictures without my face in them. We love Cheeto, of course we do. Has there ever even been a doubt? Has there ever even been a question? And, in other important news, the new league launched in Path of Exile, and it's shit. Obviously, they're trying to fix it as soon as possible, but it kind of sucks dick right now. I'm massively disappointed, and I was super looking forward to it upon my return. Obviously, it was like wedding preparation and Path of Exile were like the two big things happening in my head at the time. And Path of Exile does disappoint right now, so not recommended currently. Give them a couple of weeks to maybe sort their fucking priorities out. For now, yikes. I miss Cheeto. Cheeto was in chat earlier. I wonder who he's abandoned me in favor of. Wonder who he's watching right now. Let's see if we can snipe him in one of the other chats. He's got to be somewhere here. I bet he's watching Hassan right now. Oh, Kefos is live. Wait, is Kefos back to streaming? Is this another thing that happened when I was not paying attention? It's over for the USA help. Salty, the USA is doing good now, no? Tariffs are paused. Your fucking stock market's surging. Yeah, so, okay. I didn't think Kefos is... I thought Kefos took like a permanent break, so to speak. And also thank you for the subscription, Salty. What kind of a ring did you get her? I could show you. The main, the ring in the middle, the big one, is a Mystic Topaz. It's a... You might want to Google what it looks like, actually. I think that will be easier. Stock markets are for the nerds. Hey, look. If stock markets weren't relevant, then Wolf of the Wall Street wouldn't have happened, and that's a cool movie, okay? Leonardo DiCaprio really did some of his best work in that bad boy. I helped pick the ring. Yes, Lua did. I have been in cahoots with her for a while, asking for advice, asking for help. Wolf of the Wall Street ruined young men. I'm gonna be honest with you, though. Obviously, huge sympathy for people being misled by these kinds of media environments, so it's a bit grim when it happens. However, at the same time, on the flip side, right, just the pragmatic other side of the coin, if that type of shit does actually ruin your life, right, like genuinely, what were you doing, you know? Like, it's just, you know? Kefos, didn't she steal 100,000 for trans youth charity and then spent it on cocaine? I don't remember the figure, but that did happen, yes. People think Patrick Bateman is cool as well, so yeah, it's I know, bro. People are weird, I suppose, at the end of the day, aren't they? Greed and self-interest is hot right now. I hate it. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just... I mean, it's not really right now either, though, is it? It's been a thing for a while. It's just a thing for us to contend with. As far as my other plans go, no, because obviously part of the stream name is Life Updates and part of the stream name is Content Updates, right? Obviously, I don't want to overhype anything YouTube related because I feel like I have taken advantage of a good-hearted nature and been like, yeah, now we're back to content production full-time, only for me to do 3 videos and then go MIA for 3 months. But I don't think I've ever had a backlog of videos that I want to do that aren't necessarily like time. They don't have to be... It's not like breaking news, so I can just get around to it and actually talk about it because it's fun for me to talk about. So I've never had a backlog quite like I do right now. And I won't have a chance to sit down until Saturday to actually start working on something. But when I do, I feel like I should be reasonably consistent for a while because I don't have any plans happening soon. I've just come back from a long holiday. I've popped the big question. Obviously, now it's time to save money for... now it's time to save money for the wedding. So I might as well start pumping content. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, Salty. Side note, but you're really good at Minecraft parkour, 0 fails so far. I appreciate that very much, and I would feel about it greatly if this wasn't a YouTube video that we're watching. To be fair, cocaine is really healthy for you and makes your heart strong and good. Also makes you lose weight, so it's like Ozempic, but cooler, you know? Crypto bros. Yeah, I mean, my favorite thing about crypto still to this day is the fact that Bitcoin was supposed to be a thing to guard against the market instability, and the moment the market goes to the shitter, so does Bitcoin. All of it is just the same game, but with different currencies. Oh, yeah, I'm scrolling through my own like my channel in my Discord where I just send like content ideas and shit. There is so much, bro. There is so much. Do you know what I found kind of fascinating? Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up on main screen. That's just a little bit of one of those things that was going to be in the early brain rotty sort of portion of the stream, and obviously because it was all hectic as shit, I never got around to showing you it. But it's this, right? Would you fight for your country? Percentage of people who answered yes, and it's Gallup International 2024. Amazing maps. Obviously, once Chido has a sec, we can ask him to see how reliable this is. But just, just for shits and giggles, we might as well look into it. And the thing that I found really interesting is that, so for starters, they don't have numbers from everywhere for obvious reasons. But the further to the right you go, the higher the percentage, with very few exceptions. With fucking Finland here at 74% giga-chadding it. And the thing that I find about this map that is remarkable is that the farther to the right you go here also, the closer to Russia you get. And I was thinking, would you fight for your own country? When somebody asks you that question, there's going to be people in the West, I imagine, who might be thinking more like, would I invade some other place in the name of my country? Because being invaded is just not a feasible option, right? I don't think somebody from America would probably never think about being invaded. And it's kind of fair, right? You wouldn't expect them to, given just the geopolitical reality of America. But the more to the right you get, the closer you get to bordering with Russia, that question changes a little bit, right? Because you're no longer thinking, well, would I invade another country? You're thinking, would my country be invaded? A little bit depressing that, not even 50% for Poland. But still so much higher than these places over here. I would invade Britain, bro. Britain is never going to be invaded, okay? Too cool. Really, that turns to a yes when you are under threat. Asking in a peacetime the initial instinct for asking in a peacetime would be no. The thing is, on our side of the world, I feel like it's always just a reality that you have to contend with, and I feel like we might have forgotten that very briefly, but now it's sort of relevant to not forget that anymore, because just as you thought we're heading in a good direction, imperialism is not quite there like it used to be, at least not in the same sort of blunt force type of way. Turns out it is. Turns out it's exactly like that still, and nothing's changed. 14% is crazy. Wait, who has 14%? What country is this? I'm not great with maps, I'm sorry.
Global homo politics.
Speakers of content ideas reacting to Kanye interview in which he wore fucking black KKK outfit.
Didn't Kanye end his stream because people were complaining about the fact that he can't afford a good camera because the visual quality was dog shit? Also, it's Italy. Ooh, yeah, 14% is fucking grim. Oof. Jesus. That is a really low number, 14%.
I'm surprised Kanye is not our WH press secretary.
He was trying to become the president, right? Ye running for president was a thing for a while, with Nick fucking Fuentes supporting him on the side. Unbelievable, man. Just absolutely unbelievable. It's just so obviously a reality TV, all of it. It's just so... I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't even, I truly just do not even. When Nick Fuentes thinks your admin is too fascist, it's game over. Wasn't Nick Fuentes the one who was saying that he's getting weirded the fuck out by people doing the Nazi salute? And he's like a legitimate white supremacist, man. My Masonic brother just ran for election in a district in Pennsylvania that has been Republican for 46 years and won. Dude, unironically, no cap on God, for real. Actually, no. I was going to say there should be a huge fucking blue wave as soon as the midterms come around, but midterms are still ages fucking away. And the reality is that people have a very aggressive short-term memory. So odds are that by the time the midterms, stock market is obviously going to kick back up by then. It's not possible for the stock to be taking a shit for that long. So yeah, I imagine, you know the meme where the dude goes like nothing ever happens? I genuinely think it might be that again. I also, bro, the amount of people on Twitter, like Republican fucking accounts, like I say legit in a very loose way, so don't quote me on this in the future, but like legit political commentators who as soon as the stock took a shit, suddenly were like, you don't need the new phone or the new console or the new car. You just want them. After they were crying when the Dow went down under Biden, it's just, it's been a grift for these people all along. And I don't understand how this is allowed. I don't understand how people can look at that and not be fucking livid and just continue supporting them. Not to mention people like Tim fucking Pool being given the keys to the White House, essentially, while Trump doesn't allow journalists of parties that he doesn't like in there, but the actual fucking Russian agent is allowed. What is happening in your country? I can't even vote in the midterms anyway. I'm a registered independent and my state has closed primaries. Oh, I didn't know that's how that works. That's so strange. When Americans lose their treats, will finally rage. I mean, I've seen the big protests that are happening right now. I've seen the people chanting "fuck Trump" and all that. Obviously, it's nice to see, but I am surprised at how small everything is in terms of like the scale, given the ridiculousness of this admin. I don't know if people just don't know or if they just do not care. Like JD Vance, literally lied about a dude who got deported. He said that he is a member of a fucking terrorist organization that he's not a member of, and he was acquitted in court after a judge said there is absolutely no evidence that he's a member of that organization. And then JD Vance goes on Twitter and goes like, well, you know what, you might think that he's not, but I think that he is. And people are not like, you know what I mean? Like, a fucking judge looked at the case and went, there is absolutely no evidence of this happening. And the vice president of USA gets to go like, well, actually, you know what?
2025
Vibes-wise, though, I reckon he might be one of those, you know, mafiosos.
And my chaotic personality would have so much fun.
Yeah, until you got deported for having a fucking tattoo, Stepan. Yeah. Chris, our country is the size of 100 Polands. Not everyone can be in Washington, D.C. at once. I don't know about that one, Chief, okay? I've seen the graphs for how much land you have per however little people. You can probably fit all of America in Washington, I imagine. I'd be surprised if you couldn't, Saku. Hey, thank you for the 49 biddies. Thank you for being here, Salty, and nice to talk to you as well.
Global homo politics.
That would be a fucking banger. No, but that's the thing, Stepan. They're not just... Some of those people get deported back to like the countries of origin, which is the preferred alternative, because some get sent to like, what is it, fucking... What prison is it that they're being sent to? You know, the grim one, the really bad one. What am I thinking of? Oh, the Supreme Court's put the caboose on that. He has to let AP back in. I'm glad that he does, but I don't understand I don't get the whole cycle of he just gets to do unhinged shit and there's never any consequence, you know? In El Salvador, that's the one. Thank you, Unix. What would I do without you, Unix? Gotta narrow it down, Chris. I think there's a lot of fucked up prisons. Yeah, but I mean the one in El Salvador, he's sending people to that aren't from that place. You know what I mean? Like, he's just sending random people in there, bro. What's with the gay elevator music? Well, I just wanted your dad to know that I'm happy. That I'm happy for him to come here and get fucked or something, okay? I was gonna make like a Yo Mama joke, but it just didn't roll off very well. Hey, Huss, how you doing, buddy?
2025 Global Homo Politics.
I feel like I would fly under the radar. Crisp 2 coolin'.
Oh, actually, Lua, that is... Why did that link not work for me, though? Oh no, Andy Pants. I was gonna do the Tesla backlash, but it's not possible for us not to watch a video on Andy Pants. Come on. Come on, Andy.
And I am the Hello, my name is Ryan, and I am the president of Woke. And as the president of Woke, there is nothing that I hate more than attractive people. When I see an attractive person, I go, "Wah." But when I see an ugly person, well, in my dumb woke brain, attractive people are ugly and ugly people are attractive. That is an unfortunate side effect of pumping yourself full of this many vaccines. I'm sure we can all agree that I'm not the most attractive person you've ever seen. My face gives off less of a Timothée Chalamet vibe and more of a Paul Giamatti vibe. And because I'm not that attractive, I'm filled with a deep resentment.
The biggest crime of this dude's existence is that he literally calls himself Mr. Beard, and he's always clean shaven. And he's the kind of clean shaven that makes me think he can't grow a beard. At which point, what are you doing, Chief? What's the game plan here, big boy? Why are you like this?
And jealousy towards anyone who is attractive. Have you ever heard of fat camps? Well, I think we need to start attractive camps, where we round up all the attractives and we melt their skin off with acid so they can all be as ugly as me, and then we can finally have true equality. Thus declares the president of Woke. So, was that satirical monologue that I just gave really fucking stupid? Yes, but according to Andy Pants Gaming, the channel we'll be looking at today, this is what woke people unironically believe. As woke people, it is our goal to purge all attractive people from video games.
God, I love Andy.
And according to Andy Pants Gaming, the left absolutely hates the new Monster Hunter game because some of the women in this game are attractive. I've been a big fan of the Monster Hunter franchise ever since I played Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii back when I was a kid, but I guess I must actually hate this franchise now because some of the women in the games are hot.
What's going on, guys? So Monster Hunter Wilds is absolutely crushing it, and the left, the coping, angry, mentally ill left, is absolutely seething right now because of hot characters in games. Because they're jealous. Because they're jealous that they're not a biological woman and they look like a creature instead. So they're big mad.
So on the left here we have the angry trans wojacks, which is what these people think all trans people look like. Just ignore trans people like Hunter Schafer. They don't exist.
Strictly
Every trans person looks like this picture on the left.
No.
And then on the right we have some pictures of the blacksmith from the game Monster Hunter Wilds. And for some reason he specifically picked out this picture that makes her look like she's like mid-orgasm or something, and all of the... Also, chat, okay, I don't know how many of you pay attention to any of this shit, because let's be real, if you, like, you have every reason not to give a flying fuck, but have you noticed how Assassin's Creed Shadows came out, yeah? And the game's pretty fucking good, and suddenly, we don't really hear the complaints about it anymore, do we? Hey, Drushan, how you doing? Like, what happened to, you know, the black guy in video game bad type of shit, right? Like, all of that just went away very quickly, very, very drastically, you know? As soon as the game made a good sales, it's not really a conversation anymore, is it? It's just, I guess the grift's not paying off anymore, so we're not going to criticize it. And the thing is, you still have plenty of reason to criticize it, it's just these people don't anymore, because why bother with it? When you can just focus on the next whatever thing.
2025 Global Homo Politics.
Yeah, Globo Homo guy is back. Crisp.
Yes, that is the Global Homo guy. Good sales. What sales? The game's doing very well as far as the player base goes. Is it not? They did not post sales, just player numbers. Well, yeah, sure, but I feel like there's got to be a correlation between those two things, right? It's I know on it's not Google Play. What am I thinking of? I know there's a place where you could have played it for, like, I say for free loosely because you still have to pay for a subscription, but without having to pay the full price, if you will. I think there was a point where Ubisoft just kept making more and more mistakes leading up to the launch, and part of the... Yeah, I mean, they were, and that's what I mean when I say that there's still plenty of reason to criticize it. It's just all of that energy is gone. You know, it's not a conversation anymore that's being had, because the game turns out to be pretty fucking fun to play, and I guess we're just not going to talk about it anymore. You know, the anti-woke crowd's moving on to the next best thing. More akin to that's how many keys and subs in total we got rid of. I don't know. I mean, it comes across a little bit conspiratorial to me to think that the reason why a lot of people are playing the game is because they've given out keys to the game for free. I'm sure it happened with people like Hassan, for example. I don't imagine he had to pay for it. But by and large, I don't think there's unironically, what might have contributed most to sales was Ubisoft ratioing the shit out of Grums on Twitter. That might have that might have done a thing, you know. Which also, God bless, okay? Grums is like an actual fucking idiot.
Queer people are jealous of this because, as we know, queer people can't orgasm. When I was playing through Monster Hunter Wilds, I thought this was a pretty cool character. I liked her vibe. But wait, no, actually, I hated her character
That's just
because
standard,
she's
though,
hot,
Jim.
and I'm jealous of her because I'm ugly.
Because they're jealous.
I'm pretty sure I
Because they're
got
jealous that
GTA
they're not a
5 like that as well with
biological
my
woman and
GPU.
They look like a creature instead.
I love how he shows this picture where on the left it says creature and on the right it says what God made. I don't know how to break this to you, but this is a video game character. God did not make her. People made her. Maybe he's just been like so mesmerized by her. He's been watching her banging away on her anvil for hours, watching her have orgasms, and he's just become so obsessed with her that he's started to believe that she actually is a real person. I'm so sorry if you had to find out this way, Andy Pants, but this is a video game character, not a real woman.
Guys, Monster Hunter Wilds has crushed it. You thought Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 did well with 2 million copies? Yeah, get out of here. Monster Hunter Wilds
not do
sold
well on
8
this.
million copies in 3 days. And isn't it...
Also, Kingdom Come Deliverance, same story. People cried about the wokies taking over. The game's real fucking good. Watch the rev video, roger that. I had Arkham Knight with my GPU and I hated I couldn't get rid of it, still didn't touch it. Wasn't Arkham Knight pretty good? I haven't played any of the Batman games. I was never really into Batman, but I think I watched my brother play it and I thought it looked okay. Is it good? No, it's not. Not for AAA, in my opinion. I mean... If you want to make that argument, Femboy, I think that's a fair conversation to have. The AAA standard has been falling through for a long time, but I don't know if I accept the argumentation that that's necessarily related to the woke stuff. It's like AAA has been falling in terms of quality for a while. They band-aid woke stuff on top every now and then. It's been known to happen, but it's not the reason for why it's happening, you know? It took him a few years to make it playable on PC. Oh, do you know what? I actually vaguely remember something about that. That, like, the optimization was bad or something.
Crazy? If you just give people what they want, if you give gamers what they want...
Yes, Dream, but that's why. That's why I love LOLcast, man.
Female characters, masculine male characters.
But the thing that I hate is that the areas of interest that I have do not overlap with audiences and like potential interest for people watching. I like LOLcast, I like politics, and I like anime weeby related shit. And I feel like that's a rough trifecta to find the middle of, you know?
2025 global homo politics.
Are you going to play R6X?
Not sure. I haven't touched R6 for a very long time. I don't like playing these kinds of games on my own. I'll occasionally play a ranked game of Marvel Rivals on my own, and even that feels wrong.
They will go out and buy it.
So here he admits on screen that he hasn't actually played the game. He's just assuming that the male characters in the game are masculine. As someone who actually has played this game, no, the male characters in this game actually aren't that masculine. You've got this kid who's always crying about something, then you've got this twink who helps you research monsters, you've got this balding old guy who always looks slightly afraid. Really, the only like traditionally masculine character is the head of the guild that looks like Bob Odenkirk, who shows up for like 2 minutes at the beginning of the game. So this idea that Monster Hunter Wilds sold 8 million copies because it's filled with like masculine anti-woke men is not true. I know that you really care about filling video games with as many beefcakes as possible, but it turns out most gamers actually don't.
Kingdom Come did way better and they're not Ubisoft. Yeah, but Kingdom Come is a game that they've put like actual effort into. I can't remember the last time Ubisoft did that with anything. The thing is, if you want to criticize Ubisoft, criticizing them for the woke shit as these people are doing is just like the low-hanging fruit, right? It's a boring criticism that is not going to resonate with me at the very least. And also, like I said, Kingdom Come Deliverance was also criticized for a very similar very similar thing, and that game did amazing. I really think the thing that broke me, I think, finally, when it comes to, I was already against all of like this, the complaints about woke shit, but the part that got to me where I was just like, actually, you know what, bro, I don't think I want to listen to what any of you people have to say anymore, was Baldur's Gate 3. Because people were really angry about Baldur's Gate 3 being woke. I remember there was wasn't there a Rev video that we watched where Rev was complaining about the fact that if you like lolicon, people yell at you for being a pedo. But in Baldur's Gate 3, you can fuck a bear, and that's suddenly okay. I remember watching that video on stream. I remember molding at that video because how fucking stupid it was. And then Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and that game fucks, bro. That's like, Baldur's Gate 3 is unironically one of the best games that I've ever played in my life. The quality is incredible. The gameplay is very engaging. The customizability, the mod support, everything about it is just fucking creme de la creme. And we watched so many videos of how bad that game is going to be because you can choose your pronouns in the character creation. It's not about woke. It isn't, Femboy. No, but that's what I'm saying. That's my point, that it's not about the woke bit. You can criticize it, but the woke part of it is just stupid. And to be fair, there are games that they try and use woke as a means of making up for how shit the game is, and it's just like a little thing thrown on top, just like, you know, enjoy this. It's just like, people have lost their ability to point to that ages ago.
Don't give a fuck about that. They just want a fun game. Also,
Is
the
that a
four
thing,
main
Ray?
characters of this game are 3 women and this indigenous kid. I thought it was woke to have a game where most of the main characters are women. So you have a game where all of the main characters are women and all of the side characters are men who aren't really that masculine. But apparently this game is still based and anti-woke because some of the women are attractive. I'm starting to think that maybe there's no actual internal logic to this woke, anti-woke bullshit, and that you just slap the label of woke onto a game that you don't like. I know for a fact that if this game would have sucked, you would have called it woke, and you're only not calling it woke because you know that most people like the game.
So guys, what I want to talk about today is, you know, I've jumped over to the Steam community forums, and it is,
Fucking
as always,
underpants,
a
bro.
sewer and an absolute cesspool. And so today I want to respond to 4 different things that I read and read the comments on over on the Steam community forums that were pretty hilarious. And I've been getting a lot of requests for the voice. So you'll be getting lots of the voice.
Oh.
Yes, the voice.
Oh, if he does that again, I'm turning the video off. Fucking ew, bro. Ew. I don't think he gets any requests for that voice. I think he just does it. I think it's
2025
okay, I'm gonna
global
test
politics.
the
I'm going to sleep cause I'm getting really EPRN. Have a nice stream, Chris and chat.
Thank you for being here, Stepan, and I hope to see you again on Friday. We're going to start at a proper time, and we're going to catch up on everything on Friday. Friday is going to be the catch-up stream, okay? Today, I'm just making sure that you guys don't hurt yourselves over missing me so much. But nighty-night, thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. I'm going to test the limits of some people's memory of the internet, okay? I feel like a lot of you should get this, but a few of you might not. Just because, like, fucking... I don't want to say obscure internet, but it's old for sure. How many of you remember iDubbbz's Kickstarter crap series? Do you remember specifically the dude who...
Politics.
I will be there probably drunk cause I'm going drinking with buddies from work.
Hey, sounds good, Stepan. Sounds like it will be fun. And do enjoy your outing as well. So, in Kickstarter crap, there was this one specific dude, fucking Sick Diamond Eyes. Do you remember him? He was the dude who used to do dubstep beatbox. And he'd just come in and start, like, screeching at the top of his fucking lungs, and people would be very awkward around him because he thought he's doing something. He thought he was cooking. But Sick Diamond Eyes was not cooking. Sick Diamond Eyes was making abhorrent noises. I'll see if I can find some Sick Diamond Eyes for you, because that's the same vibe that I get from. Okay, fuck me. I'm sorry. I have to. I have to. We have to go over this. Okay, I have to show you what I mean. If I'm gonna start citing obscure fucking internet shit from 9 years ago, I need to take you on this journey with me. When Andy Pan says that he gets requests for the voice, I very much get the vibe of Sick from him. Wait, hold on. Maybe that one was better? No, I think it's the... I think it's this one, the Little Caesars.
How's it going, guys? How's it going? I'd like some breadsticks.
Okay.
And I'm filming a documentary right now. You're gonna be on this documentary.
Sounds good. Is that an HD camera? It is full HD.
This thing is $420 of fucking gold. That's gonna get us to Hollywood. How much are these? How much are these breadsticks? $1.63.
$1.63?
Yep. 40. Damn, I wish I had a
dubstep. You like dubstep? Are you all about dubstep? Dude, I'm all about grind step, homeboy. Hello? I'm fucking filming, dog. I don't have time! $1 million, John! I told you $1 million, John! Into my account, you moron! What's wrong with you, John?
Yeah, that's what's up.
$5 large pizza? What's your name?
Tristan.
Yeah, buddy! This is called Dubstep Pizza Hut. Wait.
Okay.
Bro, unironically, I'd want to fucking kill myself if I was the cashier. This is the kind of energy that I get from Andy saying that the voice was requested. But do we... we have to watch some more, I'm sorry.
I have no idea what's going on over here.
I love these kinds of people. It's just so cringe, and he's just such a piece of shit, but it's just so fucking entertaining. Pure American moment, yeah. Are you eating? I am, yes, sorry. I had a busy day, okay? I want to get some food in me. And in the meantime, I'm blessing your eardrums with Sick Diamond Eyes fucking dubstep, okay?
But it looks absolutely amazing. So we're gonna go check it out. There's this guy in front of me right now. He looks like Cisco and Ebro. How you doing, man? What's your name?
I can't believe I've missed you. I've missed you too, Marak. How you doing?
Paul, nice to meet you, man. Are you a film editor?
No.
Are you an agent? No. Do you want to be my agent?
Sure.
You can be my agent. I'll give you 5%.
Right on. You got a good little thing going on over there.
It sounds pretty cool.
Singing songs, yeah.
Let's go check it out. We're gonna go check out some little kids doing some cool stuff. My name is Lucic Diamond Eye, and this is Paul. Paul, check this out.
I feel so sorry for Paul, man.
Thank you, my man.
Excellent. Yeah,
absolutely. Sounds good, man. Fucking degenerate.
And he calls him a fucking degenerate for no reason.
Check this shit out. Got little kids and girls doing some crazy shit. Yes, it is. All right. Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to. I can't handle this right now.
The voice. Oh, thank you for bringing back
Why? Just why? You know what, Zay? I don't know.
comedy. We all know that talking like Sid the Sloth makes everything funny. God, I am so glad that comedy is finally back after the wokies tried to steal it from us.
So yeah, God made what we see on the right here, and man made what we see on the left here. And so I think I'm gonna settle for God's creation.
You cannot. How do you? I don't think that even warrants commentary. We can just fuck me.
Creation rather than man's creation.
What the fuck do you mean? God did not make this video game. Do you think that this game is like the golden plates from Mormonism and God just like descended from heaven and gave this game to Capcom? Obviously what he means is that God created women to be women and he created men to be men.
I know that, Sacco.
But
I've
even if
seen
you
that
don't
one.
believe
That's
that
a fucking
trans people
quality
are
shit
valid,
post.
guess what? They are still people that God created under your worldview. You don't get to decide that someone is suddenly not one of God's creations simply because they're trans. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. According to VeggieTales, God made you special and he...
That's because he's not really right-wing, Drim. He's just a fucking idiot, right? Like, these people aren't political in the way that we use the terms. He's a fucking muppet. Like, he's probably politically on the right, but you know what I mean, right? Like, it's not a... Like, it's hard to do political analysis for a dude whose politics are this.
He loves you very much. But I guess if you're trans, God no longer made you. You're actually a human creation and you're some sort of strange cyborg.
So let's get right into it. An angry troon typed this with their pink hair and their... You can only imagine how bad the person smells who typed this. So they said, the blonde blacksmith, Gemma, is over-sexualized. I'm not sure why the blonde blacksmith in the game has to look like an adult film star.
Bro, you only did the Sid the Sloth voice for like 2 seconds. If you're gonna...
Also, it's your video. If you misspeak, you can edit that part out.
Do the Sid the Sloth voice, you've got to commit to the bit.
She's talking about this beautiful woman here. There was the same issue in Final Fantasy 15, I believe, with the mechanic. You'll never see women like this in day-to-day life.
You've made me cry, thank you. I've never experienced cringe tears before. I'm sorry, Zay. I mean, I say that, but I'm not, okay? You have just been educated in the ways of the internet.
And the other women in the game look normal. I'm sure this is what she thinks like a normal... I'm sure this is what he or she thinks that a normal woman looks like.
So he's assuming that this comment must have come from a trans person because we all know that dumb equals trans. If you ever see a really dumb comment left on Facebook or something and you assume it's written by some out-of-touch boomer, it actually wasn't written by an out-of-touch boomer. It was written by a trans person because every dumb comment comes from trans people. Trans people make up 1% of the population, but they make up 100% of the stupidity of the population. So yeah, this comment is obviously dumb. I don't think it's inherently bad to have a character that's a little bit sexualized. And yes, obviously there are some women in real life who do look like this, and assuming that a conventionally attractive woman couldn't be a blacksmith is already unironically sexist in the first place. So yeah, dumb comment. But cherry picking one random dumb comment from one random woke person obviously does not mean that this is what all woke people believe. But wait a second, was this...
Considering both sides going further and further to the extremes, moderates slowly cease to exist, and it's fucking sad. The thing with moderates not existing, I've been thinking about something similar the other day because a similar topic came up at work and I was thinking about it for a little bit. When I said the other day, I mean like 3 months ago at this point, but still. I don't think it's the fact that moderates are ceasing to exist per se. I think that people who are like center-ish fall into this mind trap of thinking that in order to be in the center, you have to criticize both sides roughly equally, which like that's just nonsensical because depending on the structure of your given government, both of the sides don't have equal shares in power. And if one of them does retarded shit 8 times a day and the other one does it twice a day, so you end up criticizing that former 4 times as much, like that doesn't make you not centrist anymore, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know, it's complicated. It's just politics though nowadays, isn't it? I mean, we're fucking... I have at least 3 topics for like Polish politics that I'm going to be getting around to at some point soon, so... Yeah, it's just... Disavow the slur? Wait, did somebody use a slur somewhere? What? I'm sorry, I was tuned out for a little bit. Who slurred?
Comment actually written by a woke person. For some strange reason, he's decided to black out the username
In the video? Oh, well, in that case, I obviously disavow. Wait, Andy, if whatever Andy said, I obviously disavow. Not just slurs, okay? Everything that Andy's saying gets disavowed in here.
of the user who posted this. So I went and actually looked up this comment on Steam, and guess what? It was posted by a troll. This comment was posted by a user named Clint No Nerdywood, and it's pretty obvious that Andy Pants here cropped out their username and profile picture because this picture of Clint Eastwood doesn't fall into their narrative that this was written by a trans person. And I think the fact that Andy cropped out their username and profile picture is a pretty good indication that he is a dirty fucking liar. Andy says that whoever left this comment probably smells bad because they're trans.
You can only imagine how bad the person smells who typed this.
But I would say that this person probably smells bad because they're a basement-dwelling internet troll who wastes their time posting comments on the internet.
Wait, what was his bio?
You can only imagine how bad the person smells who typed this.
But I would say that this person probably smells bad because they're a basement...
Anything I see written from you/them is essentially null and void. Okay, so odds are that this isn't even like a stereotypical fucking lefty. Oh, Andy. Well, I mean, it's just... Bro, grifting pays. Grifting pays like a motherfucker. I should start doing it more. It's such a lucrative thing to do. You just lie about things and you never let anyone fact check you. And if they do, just lie about something else. And they get lost in the loop of eternally having to fact check you and you could just steam through your life.
Dwelling internet troll who waste their time posting comments on the internet to try to make woke people look bad. On Steam, I guess people will purposefully make troll posts because they're trying to get as many jester reactions as possible, and these jester reactions translate to Steam points, and this post got 84 jester reactions, which shows you that most people understood that this was a troll post. I looked through this dude's post history, and a couple years ago he used to troll people by making anti-woke troll posts. Mortal Kombat went woke? They nerfed the women in the game. Why? Mortal Kombat was always violence and beautiful women, but now they look generic and woke. Looks like the first time in years I skip a Mortal Kombat game. Such a shame. Looks like the player base is dropping off quite hard as well, which is another reason to steer clear as it stands. Go woke, go broke, I guess. So this comment was obviously posted by a troll who enjoys baiting people into getting mad at his posts so that he can farm Steam points. Do you think that an actual woke person would have a picture of this stereotypically masculine looking trans person on their profile? Obviously not. So now that we know that this comment was posted by a troll, we know that Andy Pants either fell for the bait or he's intentionally lying to his audience to make trans people look bad. And I would say that the fact that he cropped out...
It's gonna be the second, but I cannot reiterate enough that Andy is really stupid. I just carried 8 cans of Monster home. My disabled ass doing good. Fuck yeah. First of all, very nice. And also, wait, look, what do you buy them in like stores can by can? Do you guys, do you have an option of buying them in bulk? Because that's what I started doing a while ago, and it's gotten so much cheaper comparatively speaking. It's such a fucking good way of going about it. And I get it delivered to my front door.
Their username and profile picture is a pretty good indicator that he is lying to his audience.
But me as a straight heterosexual male, there's nothing wrong with beauty. There's nothing wrong with an attractive woman in a game. This is not porn. This is not gooning. This is not overly anything. It's just an attractive woman in a game, and people need to chill out.
Thank you, Andy Pants, for finally standing up for the right of straight men to be attracted to women. I thought that straight guys could only fuck dudes, but you have finally showed the world that...
Hey, depending on what branch of Red Pill you subscribe to, you'd be forgiven for thinking that.
Straight guys can fuck women. But yes, thank you so much for making this revolutionary point that it's okay for video game characters to be attractive. You really showed that troll who wrote that fake comment trying to make woke people look bad. I do find it a bit confusing how these sorts of Christian dudes set their standards, because on the one hand, he's saying it's okay for women to look like this, but on the other hand, growing up, I know that if a girl were to dress like this, these would be the same types of dudes who would tell her to cover up and tell her that modest is hottest. So like, is it okay for women to dress like this now? Or is it only okay for women to dress like this when there's someone you personally find attractive because you want to objectify them? I guess we'll never know. And no, I am not saying it's bad to find a video game character attractive. I'm just saying that under your worldview, I don't really understand when it is and isn't acceptable for women to show skin. Or, you know, we could...
Look, see, that's because Ryan is really, really stupid. As long as it owns the libs, you get to set the rules of the game. As long as it owns the libs, it doesn't matter if it's inconsistent. You just have to own them, okay? The libs and the transes, and then you just win by default.
Reject your worldview and just let women do whatever they want. You know, that is an option.
And then the angry, ugly troon who can't pass as a woman said, it's her...
Oh, that's what you meant when you said a slur. I'm so used to these fucking degenerate pieces of shit saying that word that I didn't even register it as a slur. But yeah, I obviously disavow. This is a fucking idiot speaking. The Andy Pants, to be clear, not that I think anyone's confused.
Overall look, hair, also, and body. They knew what they were doing, and it has no place in Monster Hunter.
This has no place in Monster Hunter? Bro, this is so obviously a troll comment. Women in Monster Hunter have always dressed like this, so this comment is obviously fucking trolling. Do you realize this and you're just lying to your audience, or are you a fucking...
I kinda wish that he would, Drim. There's still an absolute shit show going around Cantarella's design. Yeah, actually, to be fair though, with the thing that... I mean, in my opinion, gachas should... Here's the perfect world, Drim. Gachas should be 18 plus because of the gambling aspect. And then if they already are 18 plus, they can be far lewder than they are right now. And then everyone wins. And kids can like play with their fucking Barbie dolls or whatever, okay? Under 18 shouldn't be gambling anyway.
Moron.
Another Chad
said... But also I do kind of wish he would discover
gachas
now.
Response. This is a game in a fantasy setting, not real life. If you want real life, go to work. Exactly.
I love his little fake laugh. I think it's kind of cute when this dude hypes up other dudes' comments. Yes, dude, that is so fucking true. You are such a Giga Chad. If they want real life, then they can go to work. I'm just so glad that we have this glorious comment from this based Giga Chad who fell for the bait and responded to this troll as if they were being genuine. This is how a lot of these online ecosystems work. You have trolls who come in and post obviously stupid things to make woke people look bad, and then you have other dudes who get to feel smart and intellectually superior because they can dunk on how dumb this troll comment was. It basically just becomes this cringy circle jerk where they're all jerking each other off for being so much smarter than the dumb woke people who aren't actually even saying the things that they're claiming that they're saying. Now, is it actually true that woke people want to get rid of attractive people in video games? No. Obviously not. This might be a bit of a hot take, but sometimes, you know, having some hot characters in a video game can be kind of nice. Sometimes when my gooner brain sees some pixelated titties on the screen, you know, it's kind of nice, you know? What can I say? The woke criticism of video games is not that we should remove every single attractive... What can I say? The woke criticism of video...
Jesus, fucking misclicked.
Get rid of attractive...
I've just noticed this. That's it. Hold on.
That they're claiming that they're saying. Now, is it actually true that woke people might be a bit of a hot...
Why though his forehead creases like disappear in the middle? I've just noticed that right now. That is so strange. He's got him on one side, and then he's got one right here, and then the ones in the middle are just gone. He's been doing some exercises. There's something going on here. Because I've just got like one line going across my forehead. It's gotten bad enough that it's visible now even if I'm not smiling. But that's just because I have like, I move that part of my head a lot. Botox is it? Maybe. Playing Girls Frontline 1 to get more of a grip of more grip of story in Girls Frontline 2, and these people would probably get a brain hemorrhage from the designs here as well. I'm playing 2 without having ever played 1, and I'll be honest with you, I've read a little bit up on the lore from the first one just in external sources, and it feels I feel pretty up to date, you know.
But sometimes
worse ADHD than Kid Not Kin. I've just noticed that.
You know, having some hot characters in a video game can be kind of nice. Sometimes when my gooner brain sees some pixelated titties on the screen, you know, it's kind of nice, you know? What can I say? The woke criticism of video games is not that we should remove every single attractive person from video games. That's obviously stupid. The woke criticism is just that it's dumb to expect every single woman in every single video game to be conventionally attractive. Because in the real world, not everyone's attractive. In the real world, a lot of people are ugly as fuck.
True.
I don't play video games because they reflect reality. I play video games to escape from reality. Video games are fantasies, and in my fantasies, everyone is hot, not ugly. Look, that is fine. If in your real life you are just surrounded by uglies, so you need to play video games to escape from this ugly hell you're living in, I have no problem with that. I am not trying to take away your sexy little fantasies.
I don't even think it's to do with that. Maybe Ryan will get to it in a moment. I'm just being a pause, Andy. It's, if you want to make a fantasy world where everyone is hot as fuck, you can do that. You have the freedom of creativity to do exactly that. And then if Capcom wants to make a game where not everyone's insanely hot, they get to do that. So the weirdness comes from you wanting them to do as you want, while not wanting them to do as others want, without ever recognizing that you're just two sides of the same extreme coin.
I just personally think that art is more interesting when it explores a wide range of stories and themes and topics and people and experiences. Instead of expecting every single actor in every single movie to look like they're straight out of Baywatch, I think it can be cool to have movies like The Holdovers where actors like Paul...
One of the main characters in Baywatch is not conventionally attractive.
Giamatti and Divine Joy Randolph, who might not be...
That's kind of what it is, Dream, yeah. As long as it's a good character, all of the other parts of that character can just enhance them more.
Super conventionally attractive, give great performances. If you personally want to keep playing the same type of video game over and over and over, go for it. I am not trying to spoil your fun. I just think it's more interesting to expand the limits of what is possible with art instead of trying to restrict the limits of what is possible with art. And personally, I do think that video games are art. I think that video games are a serious art form that deserve to be taken seriously.
True, bro. Hentai video games in particular. Because let me tell you, they are getting better.
But if you personally decide that the only games that you want to play are big bouncy booby simulators, then go for it. I just hope you don't get too triggered when an ugly person might show up in your video games from time to time. He then goes on to make fun.
The reality is that unfortunately, if you are the type of a person to play these games, because he's talking about the adult ones, right?
Serious art form are big bouncy booby simulators, then. But if you personally decide that the only games that you want to play are big bouncy booby simulators, then go for it. I just hope you don't get too triggered when an ugly person might show up in your video games from time to time. He then...
Unfortunately, if the only video game you ever want to play is the big bouncy booby simulator, then there's always going to be an ugly character that appears in those games. You just have to peer into the mirror to spot it. It's a bit grim, but the people who play only those kinds of games tend not to be that attractive all in all. It is what it is, okay? You've got to branch out a little bit. Otherwise, the goblin inside comes outside. It's not great.
Goes on to make fun of comments from two other people, one from someone with the username Makima and one from someone with the username EI. Makima made a post about how he thinks this one character named Alma is a white savior because she doesn't respect the cultures of the villages that you visit in the game.
So this mentally ill person said, "Does Alma suffer from white savior syndrome?"
Wait, did he... I hold people to such an insane standard sometimes that it seeps through and I just don't think of what I'm seeing on screen. For whatever reason, I thought that when he puts these images next to the... Hold on, you can't see that very well. There you go. When he puts these images next to the caption, I thought that like he somehow found what the person looks like and he put their image here just to further illustrate his point. But that's not what he's doing, right? He's finding pictures of random people on the internet who look like they have the politics that he disagrees with, and then he puts those random people next to these comments to imply that there is like a correlation. That is so fucking weird, bro. That is such a strange thing to do. What a bizarre existence. The guy should be prosecuted for doing the voice. Seriously, true. Unironically true. That is an awful voice.
She quickly adopts the different villagers' hand gestures, among other things, without having any clue what...
Even if that does not fit the setting, coming back to Assassin's Creed Shadow, when Yasuke had romance option with somebody who sexually identifies as non-binary, and I was just like in fucking what mode? I'm not aware of any of the romance stuff in Assassin's Creed. I can understand why it might come across as weird. With the romance stuff, I'm going to be honest, Drim, I tend to always give it a pass, because in my personal experience, I like when games give you as many options for romantic involvement as possible, because like at the end of the day, I click the buttons. So I want other people who click the buttons to be able to click buttons that make them happy. You know what I mean? I'm less bothered about like any level of realism, even if the game's supposed to be kind of realistic, than I am with people being able to explore romantic options with other characters that like more closely resonate what they're actually into, if that makes sense. To each their own, and it's just one of those things. I always like that about games like Dragon Age, right? That like, hey, I am a heterosexual dude, and there is a heterosexual character for me to romance, but there is also a gay romance that is available. And there is a bisexual romance, and there are other kinds of romances, and I always like the fact that that's a thing. So long as the game itself is good, I like there being options that I will not explore, but somebody maybe like myself, but with different tastes, might. Romance options made Japan really fucking pissed. They gave options for banging Nobunaga's sister. I can understand the... Well, with the complaints from Japanese people, it's going to vary a little bit, I feel like. To some extent, I absolutely understand butchering of their story, and that doesn't feel great, right? We are... Like, we've sort of been on the receiving end of that as Polish people with Witcher a little bit, at least. And I can understand the frustration. Lack of historical accuracy is also going to be a little bit annoying when the game has certain historical components to it, so I understand. In terms of banging Nobunaga's sister specifically, yeah, obviously, I can understand the problems with that. I don't know if I personally care very much, but also, obviously, there's like the historical component and shit. Hey Beansy, how are you? I am doing splendid. I shared the great news and now we're kind of just chilling and taking it easy because I went live late as fuck today and we're going to do a proper first return stream on Friday. But Assassin's Creed was never about ordinary blokes. It's a fantasy based in somewhat real setting. That's true, Marak, but also the character that you played was never a real historical character. It happened to have been a native from the given region that somehow finds relevance in this story that is being crafted. I think Yasuke is the first time they've taken a protagonist who's like an actual historical figure, right? I'd be romancing everyone. To be fair, I did that in Baldur's Gate 3. I downloaded mods specifically that let me do that, and then I did it. That's also why I fucking hate how Nexus mods will do this thing, where if there is a straight character who doesn't do gay romance, they will add a mod that makes that character gay, and I think that's great, more power to them. And then there's a gay character who doesn't do straight romance, so they add a mod that makes that character do straight romance, and Nexus Mods deletes it for bigotry and shit. I think that shit is fucking mental. That's wacky as shit to me. These kinds of mods should absolutely be allowed. Congrats, I'm assuming she said yes. Yes, she did, Beans, and thank you. I think we had Da Vinci in one of the Assassin's Creeds, but no, you have real historical characters in Assassin's Creed, but you don't play as one. You play as a native dude from the given region. You meet real characters, but you aren't a real character. Like, Yasuke is a legit dude that lived in our world, and he was the... he was the samurai, right? Like, I know that people still argue whether he was an actual samurai or a retainer or whatever the fuck. But, like, he's a legit dude. No one cares Tracer is gay, she's always sucking dick. Well, you're thinking of porn, Doctor. I'm talking more of mods in the role-playing games, not something like Overwatch. Who gives a shit? I mean, to be fair, quite a few people seem to. I'm not sure if it's worth giving a shit about, though, to be honest with you.
They mean, or if it's even appropriate for her to use them, plus her constant need to over-deliver in the villagers' problems and trying to save the day, etc.
According to Andy Pants, because this comment is so dumb, Makima must be a trans woman who looks like this. But I went through Makima's post history, and guess what I found? A post where he says that if pronouns and pride flags are added to the game, he will quit the game. So Makima, like Andy Pants, is another anti-woke person. Andy Pants found this post from Makima, assumed that the post must have been from a trans person because it was stupid, but actually it was from an anti-woke person. Accusing characters of being white saviors is not something that only people on the left do. Anti-woke people on the right also accuse people of being...
Kind of. Henry from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was based off a real person, but his story... Well, that's a different game though, Marak. We were talking about Assassin's Creed specifically, right? With different games, there's going to be different logic that applies to it.
White saviors all the
I've never cared about AC games being super accurate, no matter what Ubi says. Bro, neither did I. Like, I don't play those games very much, but like, dude, in multiple of them, don't you in both Origins and in the one set in Greece get to like fight and ride mythological creatures and shit? Like, yeah, obviously the historical component shit has been gone for ages.
Time. They claim that people on the left only care about racism because they're trying to be white saviors to black people. So it makes sense that this post could have been made by an anti-woke person complaining about white saviorism, but Andy Pants doesn't even consider this. He just saw that the post was stupid and assumed that a trans person made it. That is, unless he already knows all of this and he again is purposefully lying. The next post is from someone named EI who says, "Is this game involuntarily racist?"
Somebody who probably looks like the woman on the left said this.
Is this game involuntarily racist? The main protags are white and treat the dark-skinned tribes/people as if they were lesser creatures.
I hate that voice. I hate that voice so much.
I looked through EI's post history, and guess what? It's another troll. Here's a post they made about Elden Ring. My wife's boyfriend is laughing at me because I can't beat Rolana, and I think I speak for all of the Reddit community that this game is harder than opening a Soylent bottle. So this is playing into the anti-woke trope that any dude who enjoys like mass-produced things like Star Wars or Marvel or Elden Ring must be demasculated.
Yeah, we watched that, We watched that on stream. I remember playing Neo as we were watching it. Yeah, the whole thing was a shit show.
And usually this is partnered with conspiracy theories that all of these mass-produced things are made by Jews. That's why these alt-right types refer to things like Star Wars or Marvel as goy slop. And under another post by this EI person...
There are these... Do you mean like those review collections, Lua, where they rank whether the game is woke or not based on like DEI and shit? That would make a banger fucking stream segment, unironically.
They said, more like pay full price to beta test for us Goyim, which implies that Jews run the gaming industry and they're trying to get people to beta test for them for free because Jews are obviously so cheap. So again, this post asking, is this game involuntarily racist, was made by an alt-right troll to make people mad. When alt-right people post shit that is purposefully trying to make queer people look bad. So let's recap. Basically, no one
Oh, hello, hello, hello. Reconnection successful. I think we should be back. Okay, I think we're back, chat. What happened? Just a random OBS disconnection. Nothing even related to me. It's just like an OBS thing. As for why, no idea, but we should be back now and it should be fine.
On the left was actually mad about Monster Hunter Wilds. This is a game that is pretty universally enjoyed across the board, but in order to claim that the left is seething about Monster Hunter, this absolute moron takes 2 troll comments and 1 comment posted by another anti-woke person and uses them to prove how stupid trans people are. And as long as he does his little Sid the Sloth voice and puts pictures of not very attractive trans people next to these comments, this is enough for his audience to eat up his bullshit.
I know I often say this, but these people are narcissists to their core, and they believe 2 things. Everything is about me, everything is about my culture, but also...
What the fuck is this video format? He leaves notes for himself on screen and then he just reads those out, and those are included in the video. This isn't like a script thing. He's just... What is happening here?
Simultaneously, I am better than other people.
Bro, this is so fucking ironic.
That's fair, Marak.
In this
I'm
other
with you.
video that Andy Pants posted, he straight up says that it is men's place to rule the world.
There are only 2 genders, and you're the man one, so act like one. You were made to conquer. The Bible says you were made to rule. And here's the thing I need you...
Oh god, Andy, he's one of those. Oh, he's doing motivational slop.
You guys to realize, this is your world. So why are we acting like we don't run this shit?
Bro, that is the definition of narcissism. I don't think I
doesn't
deserve
he,
to rule the world because I'm queer. I just want people to not treat me like shit because I'm queer, leave me the fuck alone, and not make videos like this lying about my community. And I don't think I'm better than anyone else simply because I'm queer, but I do think I'm a better YouTuber than you are because I don't put out videos where I fall for bait or intentionally fucking lie to my audience.
And guys, this is why I often say that these atheists and these LGBTQ supporters, it is a religion, because when you don't have a religion in your life to ground you, you have to make up fake rules for a fake religion to feel better than everyone else.
Oh,
so
God,
instead
I
of
wanna die.
embracing
I
a
wanna
real
die.
faith and maybe giving your life to Jesus like the person on the right,
Oh.
you've embraced a fake religion.
What religion have I embraced?
Like the person on the right, it's a picture of a cross. There is no person here. It's just a Google image of a... I am so confused. By the lack of quality, it's just so... The thing that I'm confused about is that I don't get how this is popular. Even if you like anti-LGBT, anti-whatever content, there are people out there who do anti-left content who put a little bit more effort into their videos. Like, how big is Andy Pants Gaming? Hold on. Andy Pants Gaming.
In short, this equation derived and published.
207,000 subscribers. I feel like that's big enough to not be allowed to get away with this. Like, this is fucking grim.
Life to Jesus like the person on the right, you've embraced a fake religion.
What religion have I embraced exactly?
Also, tell what's his face that he has 8 minutes, okay? Johnson has 8 minutes to show up here. 7 minutes now.
The religion that says that gay people exist and you shouldn't treat them like shit. Usually religion implies a belief in something supernatural, but there's nothing supernatural about queers. What, do you think they're going around casting gay spells and shit? I don't have to put my faith in the fact that gay people exist because I can see gay people right in front of my eyes. But you do have to put faith in the fact that God exists because you can't see God. And I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with religion, but I'm definitely not fucking bowing down to the pride flag flag in the same way that you bow down to God. If someone in the queer community says something stupid, I can just say, hey, that's dumb, I don't agree with that. But under your worldview, you are not allowed to disagree with anything that it says in the Bible. I'm sure the point that he's trying to make is that similar to religion, you can't say anything that goes against the queer community because they'll instantly try to cancel you. But I disagree with queer people all the time because queer people are just people and they get things wrong. But under your worldview, you can never disagree with God because he is perfect and he never gets things wrong.
And all these people are communicating is that they believe deep in their heart that there needs to be a religion and that there is a God. They just have a retarded one.
Damn, dude, that is such a great argument. Your God, the real God, is the smart God, and my God, the pride flag, is the retarded God. I wonder if Socrates could have ever predicted that this would be the type of intellectual debate people would be engaging in someday. So I think we can all agree that this video from Andy Pants was completely and utterly worthless. The left was not complaining about Monster Hunter. Most people on the left, like me, think it's a great game, but you just needed to find some way to get triggered and offended by woke people, so you fabricated this narrative that the left hates Monster Hunter by using a bunch of troll comments. So
Jesus, Unix, 85 stream streak. Fucking hell, let's go.
this is a direct call out to Andy Pants Gaming. Will you acknowledge that this entire video is you either falling for obvious bait or you intentionally lying to your audience? If you genuinely care about your audience, I think they deserve better than this absolute dog shit video. And to any anti-woke people who might happen to be watching this for some reason, don't you think that you deserve better than this? Don't you at least want the creators that you watch to be honest with you?
What would be the gay god, Lady Gaga? Timothy Chalamet, I think. He's trendy enough currently, you know. Unless you want like a proper icon from way back when, then it gets a little bit harder. There's more contenders. I reckon he's just injecting Botox between the shots, Marak. I think that's what it is.
I do agree there are some woke people on the internet who say dumb things sometimes, and sometimes it can be fun to poke fun at them as long as you don't act like this is what all woke people think. And I feel like if Andy Pants actually respected your intelligence, he would take the time to find actual examples of woke people being dumb instead of using obvious troll comments. But hey, if you find this type of slop entertaining, if you just enjoy turning off your brain and laughing about the dumb, ugly trans people, then I guess go for it. But just know that the vast majority of woke people are much more reasonable than these anti-woke grifters make us out to be. We also just want to play good, fun video games. And yeah, sometimes we might have criticisms of the video game industry if it feels like they're only making the same type of game over and over and over, but I don't see why it's bad.
Same question I'm asking myself, dude. Honestly, same question.
You can have your games where every man on screen is a hyper-masculine beefcake and every woman on screen is a perfect 10 out of 10, and maybe we can also have other types of games that explore other types of people and experiences where not every single person needs to be super attractive or hypersexualized. Deal? I just find this video so funny because I can literally picture in my head how he could have made a video accusing Monster Hunter Wilds of being super woke if the game wouldn't have done well. I think making anti-woke propaganda would be super easy because you can spin anything into being woke if you look at it from the right direction. So now to end out the video, I am going to show you the video that I would make if I was an anti-woke YouTuber who wanted to accuse Monster Hunter Wilds of being too woke.
Beardy Pants Gaming, let's go.
What's up? Welcome back to Beardy Pants Gaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at Monster Hunter Wilds, the latest DEI monstrosity from Capcom. In this game, basically every female has her tits out, which you Coomers probably think is based, but in reality, Capcom knows that as long as they can stimulate your Coomer brain, you'll ignore all the woke bullshit that they shoveled into this game. In this game, the four main characters are 3 girl bosses and a brown kid, and the plot of the story is just about going around to all these DEI villages to help them with their problems or whatever. Clearly the message of this game is that if you're a white person, instead of staying in your own civilization and helping your own people, you should go out to brown people's villages and help them rebuild their mud huts, because that's clearly a great...
The Johnny Somali one, Lua. Because this one isn't... I didn't get this from the playlist, I got it from the manual link from you.
use of your time. In this game, basically, the only straight white male is this dude who's a bumbling buffoon who has no idea what the fuck he's doing, because we can't have a straight white male character who isn't a moron. That wouldn't be empowering to women. This is just the latest step in the demasculization of white men, but of course normies will slurp it up because in this game they let you kill monsters. And before you get triggered, no, I'm not trying to take your goy slop away from you. I'm sure your wife's boyfriend will let you play as long as you ask her nicely. This is the 6th game in the Monster Hunter franchise. This franchise has been going on.
Lua, I think the playlist looks different for you than it does for me. This video that we're watching right now isn't in the playlist for me. There are 2 Rev videos in there. One of them is after a Piers Morgan Uncensored, and the other one is after a Legal video.
For over a decade by now, but instead of preserving the integrity of the franchise, in this one they added the ability for male characters to wear female armor and female characters to wear male armor. Because of course we can't just let men be men and women be women, we've got to throw in some trans bullshit to keep them happy. I'm sure it would be so scary for these giant monsters to see a tranny running towards them. Oh no, he's gonna inject me with his estrogen. So scary.
So the Johnny Somali one, yes?
These people, they are pretty scary to look at, so maybe they actually would cause these monsters to go run and hide out of pure cringe. In this game, you do at least get to kill animals, which is good. Any chance to piss off vegans is a chance worth taking.
Lua, you're on your phone, right? I'm on a desktop computer. The playlist looks different for you than it does for me. The video at the top of the playlist for me is full speech Trump announces reciprocal tariffs. The last video on the playlist is the Bill outlawing anime, sending Twitter into hysteria. I'm guessing that's the one you want me to watch, yes? Because the first one, as far as the playlist itself, do you want me to screenshot the playlist for you? I'll do that. That would make it easier, okay? Because we're having a translation issue here, love.
But of course, they had to throw in some woke environmentalist bullshit about how the humans are upsetting the balance of nature, and if they don't stop tampering with the natural order, they might destroy the planet. Near the end of the game, you find out that the real villains weren't the massive dragons burning shit to the ground. No, the real villains were the humans all along. And if you want to help save the environment, then you should probably stop having children. It's just typical anti-natalist propaganda to try to convince white people to lower their birth rates so that they can take over. Anyway, I rate the—
To be fair, if that makes it so that there are fewer Andy Pants in the world, I will take the L. The anti-natalist can take the dub on this one. Have you watched the new Devil May Cry anime? Yes, I did, but I haven't played the game, so my take, if you want it, is going to be anime related in its entirety. Almost in its entirety. I'm roughly aware of the plot of the video games.
This game 1 Soylent bottle out of 5. You might enjoy this game if you're the type of dude who enjoys watching Marvel movies with your wife's boyfriend, but I would say that if you really need to coom while killing animals, just go jerk off while shooting a deer or some shit, and leave this game in the woke garbage where it belongs. I hope you enjoyed that stupid little sketch. Andy Pants, I give you permission to steal that script for your next video if you want. If you're—
What was that thumbnail?
Andy Pants.
Master Chief is a black lesbian girl boss now. Take that, bigots. Halo is completely cooked. 342,000 views. I don't understand this. I genuinely do not understand what is going on here.
I give you permission to steal that script for your next video if you want. If your audience is dumb enough to enjoy watching you read out troll comments as if they're genuine, then they'll probably also be dumb enough to enjoy watching you stealing someone else's script. Anyway, instead of judging games based on whether or not they're woke, maybe we should just judge games based on whether or not they're fun or whether or not they make interesting art. And with that, I will see you wokies next time.
I heard mixed things about it. I thought it was very, very mid. I've enjoyed it on like my second monitor when I was just doing something else and it was just going on in the background. I don't think it's great though. I don't even think it's particularly good. I think it's just okay as like slop type of content. Okay, Bill outlawing anime sends Twitter into hysteria, and then we can wrap up chat. I kind of want to. I'm kind of curious now though because I think I know what this is.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're going to be going over a very headache-inducing situation. So if you're on Twitter...
Oh, yeah, I know what this is. This is the Texas lolly shit.
You have anything to do with anime or manga, I'm sure the algorithm has promoted this Dexerto tweet to you at some point over the past day. This tweet has gone viral with 140,000 likes, over 17 million views, and in this, they are claiming that Texas senators have unanimously passed a bill that, if signed into law, could make several games, anime, and manga series illegal to own in the state. The bill bans any obscene depiction of a minor or someone who looks like one. So they're trying to give the impression here that this bill will make it so any content that has a character under 18 who is sexualized will now be banned in Texas. It will be illegal to consume that material, which would outright ban a lot of anime and manga, everything from My Dress Up Darling to even Dragon Ball, and also would outlaw a lot of video games and cartoons as well.
A lot of countries in general do, Doctor, funnily enough. It's... Obviously, this kind of a bill is fucking retarded. Like, let's be real, right? It's clearly written by people who don't really understand the conversation, nor are they maybe... They're not going to understand that. They're not capable of understanding it. The whole thing is just silly.
Well, like South Park, Family Guy, stuff like that would now be illegal because of their content. Now, of course, this caused a ton of fear-mongering on social media. People are weaponizing this, they're politicizing it, and it's become a huge source of contention and toxicity. And the problem is, it's actually a giant nothing burger because Dexerto made it.
Yes, anime man, tell me how they don't know about anime. I mean, to be fair though, Tice, you wouldn't expect them to, would you? It's just one of those things where I don't think these people know that much about anime. It's just such a... It's such a fucking nothing burger. It's not gonna pass. It's stupid. All of it is just stupid.
Clickbait headline, and they're trying to mislead you so they can get more traffic on their... That should be illegal. I mean, that is...
Fuck, I just jumped like a motherfucker, didn't I?
On social media. People are weaponizing this, they're politicizing it, and it's become a huge source of contention and toxicity. And the problem is...
In response to Rev coming out as pro-Trump, I've seen Lou Dard of his avatar on the front page of Rule 34. Do you know what I thought recently would be an interesting video topic, but it's very schizo. It's like a... It's just schizo, and it requires an insane amount of research only for you to then make it very clear that you're a fucking schizoid. There are people in the VTuber circles who were sort of, I don't want to say apolitical because they were far from it, but who have come out full fucking throttled Trump supporters ever since he won the election. People like Rev, people like Kirsch, right? These kinds of people. And it would be kind of interesting to get some of their takes immortalized by screenshotting them, as many have, and just make sure that if they ever try and walk back their political affiliation, like you've got those bad boys handy. Because Rev is a fucking idiot, but he's a small fish all in all, in terms, at least I feel like, in terms of the actual damage that he's doing. But Kirsch has been fucking unhinged. Kirsch has been fucking unhinged the last couple of weeks. The last couple of months, maybe even arguably. Like some of the shit that she's been saying, some of the shit that she's been letting on and debating about when she's so clearly too incompetent to wrap her head around any of it, is just reaching a new low. And she's already been very prone to misinformation, right? And just spreading rumor basically as fact. Kirsch was talking about stuff like Bridge and DEI for a really long time. Yes, but it wasn't until 2 or 3 weeks ago that she was talking about how all of the... what was it? Hold on, I'll find the thing for you. What was it that Kirsch said the other day, that all of the reason why all the trans activists are so miserable is because they're all autogynephilic males and they just shouldn't be taken seriously on account of that. Like stuff like that, right? Like she's clearly taken wide swings far more than ever before. Nux has gone insane too. Well, Nux has been insane. I feel like, well, no, actually no, because I was going to say Nux has been insane for a while, but that was a different topic. I'm only watching her sporadically, so I don't know what's going on lately. She has been saying some like genuinely extreme shit lately. Let me see if I can find some of it. Just really quickly pull it up. Will can watch this in the
It's
meantime.
actually a giant nothing burger because Dexerto made a clickbait headline and they're trying to mislead you so they can get more traffic on their website. And I think it's very obvious. If you actually do the research on what's going on with this bill, you'll understand that it is not trying to criminalize the type of fictional content we're talking about here with anime, manga, and cartoons. And this is a very drastic misinterpretation of what's going on here, and it's causing a ton of misinformation and toxicity on Twitter. Yeah, who's surprised by that? But before we get into the details of this whole thing, I gotta do the transition of a lifetime here to Advanced GG, because after all, it's still St. Patrick's Day today, and to celebrate, I have a new drop with a limited edition label and ice shaker. And if you use code REV at checkout, you'll get 30% off your total order. So what's in this drop? Well, we have this flavor jar with my...
I did not realize how much Kirsch tweets. I don't know if I'll be able to find the tweet I'm talking about specifically, because I've been scrolling for a while and I'm only on stuff that she's posted 19 hours ago.
Character on it is another focus jar, very delicious flavor. Rev's sour rainbow candy. As always, this gives you a nice boost of focus without any crash or jitters. We also brought back this ice shaker and the art with it from last St. Patrick's Day. You can see it here in green. We're also in black, and we also have some of the other items on my shop you can check out. But as always, make sure you use the link in the pinned comment and Rev at checkout to get 30% off your order. And one more thing I want to mention, really two things. If you spend over $20 on that new drop, you also get a round
Rev,
of
come on,
flavors
mate.
at
Come on.
Community
Come on. Very cool.
So
Yeah,
headline,
there we go.
New Texas bill could make incredibly popular anime and video games illegal. They cite this down here through, I think they meant through, typo of course. Senate Bill 20 is structured in a way that mainly points it at the usage of AI software to create this type of material. Cartoon or animation are also specified. Some of the most popular anime, manga, and games of all time contain these sorts of depictions. Depending on how Texan lawmakers feel about a certain series, there's a good chance many of the most popular anime and manga series ever could be affected. So there was a ton of hysteria based on just this alone. A lot of people are believing, oh my god, this law, if it goes into effect, is going to ban all this anime and manga. And the sources provided by...
And hey, Johnson, hey, I stayed up for you, okay? I was going to go to bed, and now we're watching another video just so you had the time to come and say hello. So you better fucking appreciate that.
Dexerto here includes this basically newsprint here from the governor's office talking about the issue with AI and how they want to combat it when it's using children in its algorithms, which is obviously something that should be criminalized. It's exploiting children by putting them through these systems and trying to sexualize those images or create something that is sexualized. Obviously, that is something that should be criminalized, and this is actually on its face a very...
Oh, I found the tweets I was talking about, by the way. It's stuff like this. This has been... I feel like this is off the pretty deep end, right? So here is one, Alejandra getting humiliated at Congress for her civic duty to accost tweet. Somebody replies with, that's not a her, that's a mentally ill him. Kirsch responds with, tweeting while sleepy has done me in again. And then you might be thinking, yeah, you know what, this is just like her memeing, this is just a little bit jokey, like who really gives a shit? And then it was this tweet. Once it's realized that most trans activists are autogynephiliac males or ideologues pushing their political views with an identity shield to prevent criticism, all of their power-hungry threats and graphic murder fantasies make a lot more sense. Again, this is odd, no? She's also pretty big, I believe, now openly on the Great Replacement theory. So this is a Wendy's. I mean, you say that, Johnson, but she's like a political person. So this is not just like a VTuber saying dumb shit. Is this like a big VTuber or unemployed? I believe she was recently signed on by Mythic, which is the same org that Asmongold is working for, in charge of or whatever. She's a pretty, I don't know if I'd say big per se. I feel like now she's getting significantly bigger. Ever since Trump won the election and she started swinging hard, she's been gaining a lot of popularity with a certain demographic. Yeah. Again, just the great replacement theory as well. It's just, she's also the person who, do you guys remember there was a nightclub shooting a while ago and a bunch of right-wing pundits were talking about how it was just like an unhinged trans person who went in and shot up a bunch of people. And then it turns out it wasn't, and nobody walked it back, right? The shooter wasn't trans. Kirsch was one of the people as well who was like, yeah, the trannies are shooting up nightclubs, and it was just not a trans person at all. She gets 1,000+ viewers per live stream. That's not insignificant per Twitch standard. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. She gets, hold on. She live streams onto Twitter now too. She's got 2,000 people watching her on Twitter as well. So she's decently sized at this point. Yeah, it's just the whole thing is just disgusting. These people are disgusting. It's just, but sorry, because I got distracted. I went way the fuck off track. Because I was talking about these people just, when people say this type of shit, they should be like, somebody should chronicle this shit, you know what I mean? So that when Trump decides to once again do some unhinged fucking shit with the stock market and people are losing their fucking retirement funds and people are losing their jobs, people should know that someone like Kirsch supported that happening. People like Rev wanted that to happen. They just didn't want it to happen to people they like, but they wanted that to happen.
Good pursuit for them to go after and to...
She also cried on stream over Destiny saying the firefighter deserved to die, yet she mocks other for being... Yes, she did. True. I remember that. She genuinely... When also, just so you guys know, when Lua says she cried on stream over Destiny saying the firefighter deserved to die, Lua doesn't mean that Kirsch was moaning about it on stream. No, Kirsch cried like water in the ice. I am crying right now. This is very sad type of shit.
Outlaw. And this is the actual amendment here that people like Dexerto are passing around. Now, understand...
that's for Twitch, to be fair, Lua. I don't know if maybe the YouTube VOD might not be very happy with that one. But yeah, obviously still disavow.
This is an addition to an existing statute. This is not replacing or canceling anything. It's adding on to an existing statute. Please keep that in mind.
That's true, Sakura.
But the language that's getting everybody upset is right here in this subsection B. A person commits an offense if the person knowingly possesses, accesses with intent to view, or promotes obscene visual material containing a depiction that appears to be of a child younger than 18 years of age engaging in activities described by that previous section, regardless of whether the depiction is an image of an actual child, a cartoon or animation, or an image using an artificial intelligence application.
It is disgusting, Grim, and I don't particularly feel very charitable towards Destiny right now, and I likely won't for a while. However, Destiny, to be fair, wasn't cheering on his death. Destiny said that he doesn't give a fuck the dude died. Because if you support Trump, then you support like somebody who's trying to destroy America, and Destiny doesn't have any sympathy for you getting domed in your fucking head because God decided to divert the bullet away from Trump and into your dome. So like he wasn't even saying that the dude should have died or whatever the fuck. He was just saying that he doesn't give a shit that he did.
Or other computer software. So obviously this is the AI part at the end. That's pretty straightforward, but people are getting tripped up on this language here about the actual child, a cartoon, or animation. Now, we're going to get a lot of clarity on what this actually means and how this bill and statute separates fiction and reality. But first, let's get into the reactions to this, because people saw this headline and even if they looked at the sources provided by Dexerto there, they genuinely believed this is going to outlaw anime and manga in Texas in many different forms. And people use this to politicize it, even though the bill was passed unanimously by both Democrats and Republicans, so it wasn't any sort of a political thing, but people try to make it that way. But also people were weaponizing this to get an own on people online. And the ironic part is, of course, there was infinite cell phones, people trying to weaponize this to attack someone else while failing to realize it would outlaw their favorite anime and manga. So let's see some examples of that. So this person down here says, with 41,000 likes, 9/11 for lolicons, it's a great day to be alive.
That is interesting, though. She's capable of empathy, but something went wrong. No. She is capable of empathy in the same way that so many other people are. They want empathy for their side, and you should be skinned the fuck alive if they dislike you. Kirsch is exactly like that. She is a heartless, genuinely bad person who happens to be a piece of shit as well. It's just like, that's what it boils down to, right? Kirsch and Rev want people to go homeless, jobless, and fucking desperate. They just want it to happen to the people they dislike. And only those people.
While sporting a black clover profile picture, which, under this interpretation of the bill, would be illegal in Texas. This right here is an incredible cell phone with, let's see here, 110,000 likes. So this person says, life when lolicons start being arrested like any other pedophile. So this person fails to realize that they post this with a GIF coming from Bleach while rocking a One Piece profile picture, while also listing various anime they're a fan of and they dedicate their Twitter presence to, including anime like Chainsaw Man. All of these things that I just listed would be illegal under this interpretation of the bill. This person basically would be dedicating their entire online presence to something they believe is criminally considered CP. Like, this is an incredible cell phone on levels you normally don't see, but for some reason this topic just absolutely rots people's brains. Here's another example, someone going after Chibi Review, saying he's mad that now he's going to go to prison because of his lolly collection. I can't make this shit up. And people pointed out, the same person who just said that admitted that they fully watched Gushing Over Magical Girls, one of the biggest lolicon anime to come out in years. In fact, they went a step further to say they watched the uncensored version too, which basically is just lolicon hentai. And this guy is now trying to use this to weaponize his beef with someone else. Again, incredible cell phones. But going back to this article, obviously, people trying to use it and use Dexerto's interpretation however they see fit. Unfortunately for them, I guess, this is not what's going on with this bill. So if you look at the actual article here, they talk about how this is basically
he streams
using
on Twitch now
obscenity
and
law
then.
to try to determine what type of content produced online and being shared online is going to be actually considered illegal, right? And they describe this one section. If you actually use the sources provided here, you will see, right, that amendment we looked at earlier in the section that
she was confronted a number of times, Marak, and she doesn't respond well to criticism. Like, even the example that I've given earlier of the shooter in the nightclub who she said was trans and they weren't, she never walked that back even when she was informed that she was wrong. Like, she's capable of empathy in that she feels bad for people she likes. But yeah, no, still a piece of shit just at the end of the day.
Everyone's so concerned about. What does this mean? It's so open-ended. What does it mean? Well, we know what it means. If you go to the actual statute this is amending, unless they're going to outright say or change their minds later, we know exactly what they're talking about. So when it comes to these obscenity angles here that this bill is using, here's 3 cases where it's actually going to end up considering something illegal. So you're engaging in one of these things. 1, a child younger than 18 years of age at the time the image of the child was made. So like, this is pictures, physical pictures or digital pictures of an actual child. Obviously illegal. But what we're really talking about here for this conversation is 2 and 3. So number 2, an image that to a reasonable person would be virtually indistinguishable. Let me read that again. Virtually indistinguishable from the image of a child younger than 18 years of age. This is not something that is new. This was often used as a standard for deepfakes. They're basically saying if you hold up the picture in question next to a picture of a real person, you wouldn't be able to...
That's by choice, Doctor. I don't like when the avatar flies around and shit. I don't find that entertaining.
...to tell which one is real and which one is fake. That is largely aimed at deepfakes, and I think rightfully so. And because if you're using a child in this case as a deepfake for some obscene material, of course that should be illegal. I mean, that is by definition CP, because you're exploiting a real child. So that's really what it's going for there. So that doesn't have anything to do with anime. There's no anime or manga that's virtually indistinguishable from a real person, unless you're schizophrenic. So that's why they add a reasonable person. So now we go to 3. An image created, adapted, or modified to be the image of an identifiable child. I think this is more leaning into AI, or at least they're going to use this to get people on AI, right? So they say an identifiable child. So the product or the image or whatever that's being produced has an identifiable child in it, okay? And you go, what's an identifiable child? Again, it's right here. They tell you. In this section, identifiable child means a person recognizable as an actual person by the person's face, likeness, or other distinguishing characteristic, such as a unique birthmark or other recognizable features. So yes, this is pretty much making it very clear what we're talking about with all of these amendments that are now being reported on by Dexerto. So you have to have an actual child. They use the word actual child, an identifiable one. And up here, they also use the language of the virtual.
Yeah, but down here it says who was younger than 18 years of age at the visual depiction, at the time the visual depiction was created, adapted, and modified, or whose image as a person younger than 18 years of age was used in creating, adapting, and modifying the visual depiction. This one down here no longer clarifies that it has to be an actual person or indistinguishable from an actual person. Now, obviously, I'd have to look at the whole statute, but this is far from anything I'm knowledgeable about. But it looks like this just down here that he's getting to, and I hope he's going to read, no longer makes those clarifications that he's been very specific to.
Actually indistinguishable, which mirrors the federal statutes on this stuff. So unless these people are making this bill, unless they turn around and say, oh, we're actually going to make another amendment and get rid of all this. Unless...
Would you be able to find me that case, Lua? Would that be... or anyone, actually? If not, I'll look for it later myself. If that is the case, then Rev is completely off on this. And that seems like something that should probably be pointed out, although admittedly this was 3 weeks ago, so that ship might have sailed. But I'd be very curious about the case precedents then, because it looks like Rev is just not going to read... Rev shows this whole thing on screen, and he reads all of this that supports his side, and then when he gets to the bit that no longer does, he just glosses past it.
As they say that, nothing really changed. They just added a new section for AI, and they're going to use these standards to deal with it, because it's already in the statute. So they've given no indication that they're going to alter this or remove it in any sort of a way. So what Dexerto is doing is just fear-mongering based on very little research. I mean, it's literally like in their sources. So either they didn't actually read through it themselves, or they're lying to you for clicks. I believe either, to be honest with you, when it comes to Dexerto. But let's just say the crazy thing happens.
If based on this law, whatever it is that he's citing, there is precedence for somebody getting convicted over fictional stuff that they have, then this is a really big fuck up for Rev, I feel like. Like, this is sort of... I know that Rev isn't like the lolly guy anymore. He's sort of like branched out. I mean, to be fair, he wasn't one to begin with, then he sort of became one, then he branched out. But this is still a thing where I feel like he holds a lot of authority in the community.
And they come out and they do chop all this down and make some additional amendments that do end up having the interpretation that Dexerto has made. Well, it probably wouldn't matter too much, because the first person to challenge this would probably win, because It doesn't
What's
line
Vosh's
up
opinion on
with
this?
federal
Look,
codes that
we're
were
asking
made
the real
just for this
question.
sort of thing. This is the relevant federal code here, and you can see if you scroll down, they talk about this exact thing, okay? This exact thing. Identifiable minor, again, is something that they require here. And it says, it's a visual depiction, someone who is recognizable as an actual person by the person's face, likeness, or other distinguishing characteristic, such as a unique birthmark or other recognizable feature. Does that sound familiar? Oh, it is, because it's the exact language they use in the statute that we're talking about.
Yeah, but again, the exact same thing. So means a person. Now, the number 2 is who is recognizable as an actual person by the person's face, yada, yada, yada. Sure, of course. But then up here it says who was a minor at the time the visual depiction was created, adapted, or modified. This, again, does not say that it has to be a realistic adaptation or whatever. This just says that it has to be a minor, which would mean below 18, I believe. And even for this, even if for this, because to be fair, this whole bit is about identifiable minor. I'd have to read the whole thing because the way he crops it makes it difficult to follow. But even if this bit is correct, I don't know. I have to look at the cases you guys are talking about. I would be so curious if he's full of shit on this.
Familiar? Oh, it is, because it's the exact language they use in the statute that we're talking about. And again, they also make it very clear here that the generated image is indistinguishable from that of a minor engaging in this explicit conduct.
Oh god, this one he just misread completely. Hold on, I have to move my VTuber avatar away. This is just silly. This is like English 101. Such visual depiction is a digital image, computer image, or computer-generated image that is, or is indistinguishable from, that of a minor engaging in sexually explicit conduct. This is, again, not saying what Rev says that it says. The bit that he's talking about is in the brackets, or is indistinguishable from. And then it talks about a minor again, which this doesn't clarify anywhere that it has to be a real one. So if you guys have case precedents for people getting their shit kicked in for like lolly type of stuff, then Rev is completely wrong. Just like demonstrably completely wrong.
Okay? I think it's very obvious that this is mirrored in the Texas statute, and now there's a simple amendment adding some language about AI. That's all that happened. And honestly, it might be a little sloppily written, but what we're reading wasn't just the actual statute itself. What was reported here by Dexerto, what we're looking at right here, is a report. It's not the final version. It's not the actual statute itself. It's a report. This whole thing is so crazy. People went absolutely nuts. Millions of people out there probably now believe this is happening. I hope there's like a community note or something that will be introduced to this tweet because it's so misleading. I think this whole situation is pretty easy to understand if you look at it for more than 2 seconds. If you actually look at the statute that's being amended in the first place. But Dexerto didn't do that, and it's not too surprising. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope I clarified some things for you guys. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about.
I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't feel very clarified. As always with Rev, I feel like by the time I'm done watching his video, I need to do more research into what he just spoke about because odds are he's full of shit. Which, I mean, at the very least, it gives me something to do when I've, got time on my hands, which is quite rarely nowadays, to be honest with you, but still happens on occasion. All right, chat. I am going to be heading to bed because I have work tomorrow. So what we're going to do is we're going to raid away, and I'm going to raid us into Resiver because I see that he's live. Or do we want... Actually, because I raid Resi quite a lot. Do we want to raid into someone else? That's impressive to see a Hero Hey video now. Look, tomorrow, okay? Not tomorrow, sorry, Friday. I'm busy tomorrow. Who are we raiding, chat? What are we thinking? Radai's Beans. Well, unfortunately, she's not live. Sorry for the lackluster stream. I do hope that at the very least, the pretty big news of my private life sort of makes up for it. We will do a proper stream on Friday. I'll prep content and everything. Like I said, I got caught up doing something that I initially thought I'm not even going to be doing it all, and then I thought it was going to take a little bit less time. Then it ended up not taking less time. As soon as I was able to, I went live, and hence the hectic sort of environment, but we'll make up for it on Friday. Raid Ampar. Ampar is not live. Neither is Beans. You know what Sonsol it is? I just want to go to bed. I want to go to bed. I have to wake up for work in the morning. I'll talk to you soon. So thank you all for being here. Good night. Take care and rejoice, for now I have returned, and so the content will start pumping. Good night, guys, and take care. And as always, YouTube, you guys are my favorite.